The Demon Emperor saw a pair of shining eyes, staring at him. She knew that Lin Moyu couldn't see herself, but felt her presence. It was the upper eye that found itself. The Demon Emperor felt the attack from the soul, which was the eye of the dead from above. The previous confrontations with Lin Moyu were all in the air, and it was the first time I felt his skills up close, which was very strange. The Demon Emperor graciously removed his cover, revealing a graceful figure. "It's you." Lin Moyu's eyes became sharp instantly. The moment the other party removed the concealment, there was an aura of enchantment. Enchantment, abyss, demon. Lin Moyu guessed the other party's identity in an instant. There is only one person in the entire abyss who can approach him without being discovered. Feeling Lin Moyu's hostility, the Demon Emperor was slightly surprised. "Do you recognize me?" Lin Moyu is extremely vigilant, and has already entered the fighting state on 843, Demon Emperor. "How did you guess it?" The Demon Emperor was even more surprised. Why Lin Moyu was so sure. She knew that the two had never met. Moreover, her aura has completely changed, and it is impossible for Lin Moyu to judge from the aura. She was very curious. How did Lin Moyu confirm his identity? Could it be a guess? Impossible. Lin Moyu's attitude is too sure. Lin Moyu didn't answer the Demon Emperor's words. "You sneaked into the ancient city of Xinxia and followed me here. What do you want to do?" While speaking, the Goulet Tower has come to Lin Moyu's hands, ready to fight at any time. The Demon Queen retreated a distance. Materia Medica was not malicious. "Do you believe this?" Lin Moyu sneered. "The hatred between the human race and the abyssal demons has lasted for more than 1,000 years, and when they meet, they will die." The Demon Emperor wanted to kill himself several times, and not long ago he joined forces with the Dragon Emperor to kill himself. Now it is too funny to say that there is no malice. The Demon Emperor chuckled. "I'm serious, I really didn't have any malicious intentions this time. As my emperor, there is no need to lie to you." Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't believe it, but he didn't act immediately. After all, he only had the power to protect himself against the Demon Emperor. Lin Moyu asked in a deep voice, "Then what are you doing here?" Facing Lin Moyu, who was extremely vigilant, the Demon Emperor tried his best to show kindness. "I've come to ask you to cooperate." Cooperation? Lin Moyu's thoughts changed, and he immediately thought of thousands of years ago. There was indeed a cooperation between the human race and the abyssal demon. The two races joined forces to drive the dragon race out of the Yuan battlefield and cut off all space passages. As a result, the dragon clan has never been able to come back within 1,000 years. Lin Moyu's eyes sparkled, guessing the reason for the Demon Emperor's visit. Could it be that she still wants to have another cooperation from 1,000 years ago? Now that there is no half-step super god in the human race, the strongest should be me, and it is not wrong to cooperate to find me. The Demon Emperor nodded. "That's right, the Emperor came to you because he wanted to cooperate with you." Lin Moyu remained vigilant and did not relax because of the Demon Emperor's words. "Tell me, what do you want to cooperate with?" The Demon Emperor said, "Before we cooperate, let's talk about the conditions. My Emperor, I hope you agree to one thing." "What's up?" "In the future, no matter what level you reach, you are not allowed to attack the Emperor. Similarly, the Emperor will not take the lead in attacking you or the human race." The Demon Emperor said a condition that made Lin Moyu a little puzzled. This condition may sound odd. Even Lin Moyu didn't understand the real intention of the Demon Emperor for a while. "Speak clearly." The Demon Emperor had a smile on his face. "It means literally." Lin Moyu thought for a while and understood the meaning of the Demon Emperor. "Are you afraid that I will kill you in the future?" The Demon Emperor didn't hide it, and admitted generously, "It can be said that there is Antares behind you, and the Emperor can't touch you. Your talent is very good, and it is very likely that you will become a super god in the future, with the ability to kill yourself. I don't want to die, so I came with you in advance, to turn enemies into friends." Lin Moyu laughed, laughing at the Demon Emperor's wishful thinking. Humans and abyssal demons can turn enemies into friends? 1,000 years of hatred, do you think this is possible? The Demon Emperor said, I am only referring to myself, and has nothing to do with those demons in the abyss. Lin Moyu was startled. Hearing what the Demon Emperor said, she was planning to sell the entire Abyss Demon. She is the Demon Emperor. The Emperor of the Abyssal Demons. It's a bit ridiculous to want to sell your own world now. Lin Moyu is simply listening to the Arabian Nights, and the fairy tales are not so outrageous. Seeing Lin Moyu's shocked gaze, the Demon Emperor laughed and said, Don't think it's impossible, in this cruel world, nothing is impossible. To show my sincerity, I can give you some certificates of honor first. Lin Moyu frowned, what sincerity? The Demon Emperor took out a memory spar, here is a list, all of them are members of the Demon Worship Association. Lin Moyu took the spar and checked it slightly, showing surprise again. There are nearly 10,000 people in it, involving various fields of the human race. Although none of them can touch the core area, there are quite a few in the middle layer, which are somewhat shocking. Bai Yuan's big cleansing last time was far from cleansing the Bai Weihui. Lin Moyu asked in a deep voice, how do I know if this is true or not? In case the list is false, you can't just listen to the Demon Emperor's one-sided words. The Demon Emperor had expected Lin Moyu's reaction a long time ago, you don't need to do anything, you can contact the high-level clan to see if these people are all dead, and they all committed suicide. As he said that, the Demon Emperor pointed his finger towards the air, and a law cut through the sky, crossed the space barrier, and went to an unknown place. Seeing the Demon Emperor's sudden use of the law, Lin Moyu's heart tightened, you wait for me outside the ancient city of God. At this time, he had no intention of leveling again, flapping the wings of the undead, the power of the soul exploded, and flew to the ancient city of Xinxia. In just a few seconds, he returned to the ancient city of Xinxia, and then returned to the human world through the teleportation array of the ancient city of Xinxia. He is a 5-star general with the highest authority in the human race, and he is free to use the legendary formation. His speed was so fast that even the soldiers guarding the teleportation array had no time to stop him. I only feel a blur in front of my eyes, and the teleportation array has been activated. The soldier originally wanted to stop him, but when he saw the purple general badge on Lin Moyu's shoulder, he immediately shut his mouth. Lin Moyu returned to the human race world, contacted Meng Anwen immediately, and told about the list of members of the Worshipping Demon Society. Meng Anwen came as quickly as possible and took away the 4.8 list. Only half an hour later, Meng Anwen sent a message. The content of the message shocked Lin Moyu. Nearly 10,000 people on the list committed suicide. Some of them are Xinxia people, and some are personnel from other countries. They committed suicide collectively just half an hour ago. The method of suicide is very uniform, all of them cut off their heads with weapons. Lin Moyu was shocked and realized one thing. Could it be that the demon worshippers are just these people on the list? Will the Demon Emperor have something to hide? Meng Anwen came to Lin Moyu again, Xiaoyu, what happened? Where did you get this list? Lin Moyu didn't explain the matter clearly just now. Meng Anwen was more shocked than Lin Moyu at this time. The news from all over the world made Meng Anwen realize that the matter was serious. Lin Moyu had something on his mind, I will talk to the teacher about the specific things later, and I will go back. Outside the ancient city of Xinxia, the Demon Emperor was wearing a light yellow tunic, showing his small waist. When Lin Moyu came back, the Demon Emperor showed a bright smile, how is it? I am satisfied with the sincerity of the Emperor. Lin Moyu said, anyone else? Guess? The Demon Emperor smiled slightly. Lin Moyu stared into her eyes, unable to figure out what was going on in her heart. The Demon Emperor's thoughts are very deep, which cannot be seen from the surface. Lin Moyu nodded, okay, I have received your sincerity for the time being. Let's talk about your specific cooperation method. The Demon Emperor smiled and said, there are some things that you may not believe if I tell you. I would like to invite you to my demon palace as a guest, where we will talk about it in detail. Lin Moyu immediately became vigilant again. The demon palace is the territory of the Demon Emperor, at the core of the abyss. Going there by yourself is tantamount to sending a sheep into a tiger's mouth and giving away a person's head thousands of miles away. The Demon Emperor naturally knew Lin Moyu's concerns. Some things are believing. As for safety issues, you can ask the adults. If the adults are here, I dare not touch you. Lin Moyu thought about all kinds of possibilities, and at the same time communicated with Long Lin, Antares, will I be in danger in the Demon Palace? Won't. Lin Moyu quickly got an affirmative answer from Antares. Lin Moyu also wanted to find out why the Demon Emperor suddenly came to the door early and gave such a big gift to 02. Most importantly, he also wanted to know whether there were any members of the Demon Worship Association lurking in the human race. Especially in the high-level core, if there are, even if there are only 1 or 2 people, the threat to the human race and the Xinxia Empire may be higher than the tens of thousands who committed suicide just now. It's fine if you don't know, but now that you know, you can't just sit idly by. With Antares' affirmative answer, Lin Moyu felt confident. Okay, I'll go with you. The Demon Emperor took out a delicate magic stone. Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. This magic stone was the most high-end magic stone he had ever seen, and it actually contained the breath of law. The magic stone was activated, and a space-time channel appeared in front of the Demon Emperor. General Lin, please. For the first time, the Demon Emperor called Lin Moyu by the honorific title of the human race, which was regarded as an expression of her respect. At this moment, the Demon Emperor put Lin Moyu on an equal footing with himself. She also showed her sincerity from the side. Lin Moyu entered the space-time channel generously. After a long-distance teleportation, Lin Moyu felt the familiar breath of the abyss before his sight was restored. The breath was extremely strong, and it rushed over from all directions and hit him. His body was slightly uncomfortable, and the breath of the abyss was incompatible with the breath of his body. It seems to express the irreconcilable contradiction and hatred between the human race and the abyss. When sight was restored, Lin Moyu saw dark green flames, almost to the blackened abyss fire. He is already in the Demon Emperor's palace, but the strange thing is that the Demon Emperor's palace is not what he imagined. There are no hideous decorations, nor all the characteristics of demons. This place is very delicate. Whether it is the seats, the pillars, or the furnishings, they are all 70 to 80% similar to the human race. If there is no gloom brought by the fire of the abyss, this place would be like a palace of the human race. Do you think it's strange? The Demon Emperor's voice echoed in the palace. It was pleasant and somewhat ethereal. Lin Moyu looked at the Demon Emperor, who was still wearing a human robe and showed a small waist. You can return to your original appearance. The Demon Emperor walked past Lin Moyu, and then sat on his own throne, looking a little lazy. This is the original appearance of the Emperor. Lin Moyu obviously didn't believe it. The Demon Emperor smiled and said, this Emperor has half human blood. Lin Moyu was speechless for a while, and that's not what he said when he opened his eyes and talked nonsense. You are a majestic Demon Emperor, saying that you have half human blood, isn't that a lie? Lin Moyu felt that the Demon Emperor regarded himself as an idiot, and frowned. This joke is not funny. The Demon Emperor shook his head. I really have half human blood, but not the human blood of your world. And I can tell you that I have never killed a human race with my own hands. If you don't believe me, you can ask your lord. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't believe it, and immediately communicated with Antares. Is she telling the truth? Antares quickly gave Lin Moyu the answer. Lin Moyu couldn't believe it. The majestic Demon Emperor, who led the abyssal demons to fight against the human race for thousands of years, has never killed a single human race, and he has half of the human race blood. This is really a big joke. The secret is amazing. Lin Moyu also knows why the other party told him these things, and he is not afraid to say it himself. If this is said, who will believe it? Coupled with the strength of the Demon Emperor, which demon in the entire abyss dares to doubt, unless he doesn't want to live? With super receptivity, Lin Moyu quickly digested all the information and said, your story should be wonderful. The Demon Emperor sighed faintly. My lord should have told you about the origin of our abyss and the dragon clan. The demons in our abyss belong to the demon family, but we are just low-level demons, belonging to the bottom of the demon family. And the abyss world is just a fragmented world. While the Demon Emperor was speaking, he pointed his finger towards the top of the Demon Emperor's palace. A layer of enchantment is projected down, forming a picture after another. In the picture are the universe and the starry sky, the sun, the moon and the stars, with a boundless atmosphere, recording the years. 2 points of light flew from the dark cosmic starry sky one after the other. It fell outside one world, and then stuck to the world. Each point of light is only 1/5 the size of the world, and it looks like the world has a pair of corners. The place where the 2 corners are connected to the world forms a special area. Lin Moyu saw the picture and listened to the explanation of the Demon Emperor, and knew that these 2 light spots were the Abyss World and the Dragon Realm, and the special area formed by the connection is the Yuan battlefield. The Abyss World and the Dragon World are just fragmented worlds, not a complete world, and the sum of them is less than half of the real world. The voice of the Demon Emperor resounded faintly. We came here with the fragmented world, with a mission. The mission is to destroy the creatures in the world, no matter what kind of creatures they are, they must be destroyed. 303. At that time I was also in the fragmented world, and I was just a little devil at that time, not strong enough. When I saw that the creatures in this world were human races, I had no way to stop other powerful demons, so I had to choose not to do it. Later, I became stronger and stronger, became the Demon Emperor, and took charge of this fragmented world, but I was still powerless to stop it. This Abyss Fragment world is a part separated from the Abyss main world, and can be taken back at any time. And my strength is nothing in the Abyss main world. If I do something against the Abyss, the only ending that awaits me is death. Moreover, the will to destroy living beings is engraved in the blood of the abyssal demons, and it is already an instinct that cannot be erased. Lin Moyu listened to what the Demon Emperor said, and seemed to understand something. He had calmed down completely, and analyzed, in the outside world, are the demons from the human race and the Abyss main world also fighting? The Demon Emperor shook his head. I don't know, I have lived in a fragmented world since I was born, and I don't know much about the outside world. But I have the memory in my blood, knowing that I have half human blood, so I have been hiding myself, very careful. It's also fortunate that I was born in the fragmented world. Cannon fodder demons like us who are inferior to soldiers will not be taken seriously. If I were in the main world, I would definitely be executed early. If one day, the shard world returns to the main world, I will definitely die. The voice of the Demon Emperor, accompanied by the constantly beating flames of the abyss, seemed a bit sad. There was a wry smile in her eyes, as if she was laughing at her own life and birth. Half human, half demon, it is not welcome in the human race, and it is the same in front of the abyss demons. No matter which race it will not accept her existence. Even though she has the appearance of a human race, she can't hide it from ordinary people, but she can't hide it from those strong people. Just like those mixed-blood dragons in the dragon world, in the mouth of Antares, they don't count as farts. The Demon Emperor continued, I know that once my identity is exposed, even if I don't return to the Abyss Lord world, the demons here will not let me go. I thought I was hiding, I practiced desperately, I became the Demon Emperor, so that no one can kill me. After several me in a row, the Demon Emperor's tone was a little hasty. Lin Moyu heard the hardships from it. The Demon Emperor said, I built the Demon Palace, lived in it, and never showed my true colors to others. I have become the master of the fragmented world. Do you know how false this master is? Lin Moyu said, you don't want to die. Of course. The Demon Emperor yelled softly, of course I don't want to die. I want to be super god, I want to become a true god, to become a more powerful existence, until no one can kill me. Survival is the instinct of any creature, even the Demon Emperor is no exception. Her will to survive is extremely strong, and it is this will that allows her to achieve her current achievement. Lin Moyu has completely figured it out, you don't want to die, you don't want the human race to perish, and you don't want this world to be invaded by dragons. No matter what, you will return to the main world, and what awaits you is death. The Demon Emperor continued, that's right, that's why I'm looking for your cooperation. Lin Moyu said, if you don't want to die, there is only one way, stay here forever and don't come back. So you maintain the balance of the 3 races. Thousands of years ago, the dragon race was strong, so you helped the human race drive the dragon race out. The demon emperor said, yes, I had just become the demon emperor at that time, and this was the first thing I did. At that time, I actually had a chance to destroy the human race, but I didn't do it. I even secretly killed several high-ranking demon kings. And then Jiang-Yi appeared in your human race. He is not a creature of this world. I couldn't let him grow up, so I killed him. There are other things, I'm all about balancing. But the balance was broken by you. Lin Moyu knew that he had become a knife hanging over the demon emperor's head, and with Antares behind him, the demon emperor dared not do anything to him. Borrowing a knife to kill someone is the last step she can take. As a result, the dragon emperor was not strong enough, and the doctor failed. As for Meng Anwen and the others, they were just additions and did not pose a threat to the demon emperor. Even if Lin Moyu is killed, the demon emperor will not really break into the human world in the end. She has to maintain balance. Balance is her life. The demon emperor continued, actually, what I do is to escape. I was already the demon emperor thousands of years ago, and I have already reached the peak of a half-step super god. In the world of fragments, I can't go any further, and I can't become a super god. A cult. Lin Moyu said in a deep voice, you can go out. The demon emperor shook his head and smiled wryly, you said that like Di Huang, he walked out with a narrow escape? No, for him it was a narrow escape, but for me it was 10 deaths and none. I was born in the fragmented world, and my soul imprint is here. The powerful demons in the main world can find me through the imprint at any time, and it is useless for me to hide no matter how far away. There was helplessness in her words. At this moment, she was not like a demon emperor, but more like a helpless girl. Her words involved some knowledge that Lin Moyu didn't know. Lin Moyu asked, then what are you going to do? Lin Moyu knew that she must have a solution, otherwise she would not take the initiative to find herself. The demon emperor said, I've already thought of a way, but I'm not sure if it will work. This is the only way I can think of. Tell me. You become the master of the world and devour the fragmented world. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised, it turned out to be this way. Make yourself the master of the world. At this time Antares' voice sounded in his mind, this is indeed the only way. Lin Moyu asked, but how can I become the master of the world? Antares chuckled, it's easy. It's not difficult to become a super god. I'll teach you when the time comes. And there's a world core waiting for you to collect. If you want to become stronger and break through the limit in the future, this is a must-doing. Lin Moyu already knows the answer, why should I help you? The demon emperor heard some other information from Lin Moyu's words, she knew that Lin Moyu had already got the answer, and her own method was feasible. The answer came from Antares, she knew it. I will show enough sincerity, when you can become the master of the world, I will let the demons attack the dragon clan. The devil and the dragon will both suffer. I will take the head of the dragon emperor. Lin Moyu stopped her, no, I will take the head of the dragon emperor myself. The demon emperor smiled, and suddenly appeared in front of Lin Moyu, stretching out his delicate hands, we are happy to cooperate. Happy cooperation. Lin Moyu shook hands with her symbolically. Her hands are soft and cold. The two have already set the tone for their cooperation, and when Lin Moyu becomes a super god, the cooperation will officially begin. The demon emperor did not doubt Lin Moyu's words. She had investigated all of Lin Moyu's deeds and knew that Lin Moyu was very committed. As long as you promise, you will not violate it. Sending Lin Moyu away from the abyss world, watching the passage of time and space close, the demon emperor sighed faintly. I hope it will work. After waiting for so many years, I finally saw a silver lining. The cold unpleasant voice of the demon emperor echoed in the huge demon emperor's palace. In her eyes, apart from sadness, there is also a strong murderous intent. She seemed to be creating a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood with her own hands. Lin Moyu returned to the ancient battlefield, looked at the ancient city of Xinxia, and watched the people coming in and out. The world seems simple, but it is far more complicated than imagined. It seems complicated, but it is also being sorted out. Antares, tell me, can I succeed? I think she is a little crazy. For herself, she is willing to sacrifice the whole world. Billions of demons will pave the way for her, and if she succeeds, she will march forward in a sea of blood. A few seconds later, Antares' voice rang in his mind. There was a disdainful smile in the voice. You are short-sighted. This kind of thing is nothing in the eyes of the strong. That's just a fragmented world. How many creatures can there be in it? Even including your world, there are not many living beings. The real strong, deity, destroyed the entire starry sky and countless worlds in order to make a little progress for themselves, and for the possibility of 1 in a billion. In a split second, countless souls die. There are even stronger ones who gather hundreds of millions of living beings from dozens of worlds together to perform blood sacrifices. The sea of blood filled the sky with resentment and wiped out the big star. Such a scene is nothing, it's just pediatrics. Antares said it very easily and without complacency. Lin Moyu's hair stood still when he heard it. It seems that the outside world is far more cruel than I thought. Hee, it's good to know. However, Lillian has indeed done a lot of things over the years. Basically, what she said is correct, and she did not kill your human race. Of course, she is doing it for herself. At the same time, she also knows that with me around, it is impossible to destroy your human race. Anyway, that's the way it is. Think for yourself. 11. Lillian is the name of the demon emperor. Except for Antares, no one dares to call her by the name Bing directly. Lin Moyu nodded slightly. I see. This transaction is currently in the past and we are not at a loss. Lin Moyu sat alone outside the ancient city and thought for a long time, thinking about everything that happened before, thinking about all the information he saw, and heard. Collect them and analyze them. If what Demon Emperor Lillian said is true, she has always been balancing the power of the three parties for so many years. After cooperating with the human race to expel the dragon race, she was actually capable of destroying the human race at that time. Even if the human race cannot be wiped out because of the existence of Antares, at least it can occupy most of the human race world. Putting the human race in captivity will at least prevent the human race from developing again. At this point, Antares will not interfere. Antares said that it is only responsible for keeping the human race from dying, and not for anything else. But Demon Emperor Lillian didn't do that. Instead, she killed several high-level demon kings, and even created the illusion that there are strong people among the human race. This made the originally unscrupulous demon kings throw their hands at the mouse, and finally formed a relative balance between the abyssal demons and the human race. The human race also developed thousands of years ago. Although it is still weaker than the abyssal demons, it is not too much. Even more than 600 years ago, she discovered Jiang Yi, who came from outside the sky, and designed to kill him. Because she was afraid that Jiang Yi would reach the super god level and eventually break the balance. Balance. What she has been pursuing for so many years has been balance. From this point of view, 273 is her who really let the human race survive and develop in this era. It is indeed a bit ridiculous to say it, and it is also unbelievable. But that is the truth. All these things Lin Moyu confirmed through Antares. The most hated enemy of the human race is the person behind the scenes who gave the human race a living space. It's really ironic. Lin Moyu knew that he couldn't tell the truth, and probably no one would believe it. He found that the position he was standing in was different, the things he saw had also changed, and the way he thought about problems was even different from before. He used to think that worshipping demons was a big cancer in the human race, and if it wasn't eradicated, the human race would be in big trouble. Now it seems that what kind of thing is worshipping the devil, it will not affect the balance between the two sides at all, and it is even less likely to touch the foundation of the human race. The demon worshipper is like a bedbug, it looks a little smelly and dirty, that's all. In the eyes of Demon Emperor Lillian, this is a toy that can be discarded at any time. So the cooperation has not yet started, and in order to show her sincerity, she discarded Bai Moyi. When he looked at the problem from a different height, Lin Moyu found that his heart was hardened. He has to make a choice, whether to bear the hatred of the human race and the demons to the end, or to cooperate with the demons for the peaceful life of the human race in the future. A decision had to be made on this matter, and it was a decision made by a few people. Don't need to tell too many people, it's useless. After thinking for a long time, Lin Moyu left the ancient battlefield, returned to the human world, and returned to Baishan Courtyard. In the past few days, the human world has been calmed down, and it has once again returned to its previous appearance. The breath of peace accumulated for hundreds of years, after a period of tension, was able to return. After a few days of busy work, Meng Anwen, Bai Yuan and others were also free. At this time, they still had Yan Guangxing and the other three, drinking tea in the courtyard. As for the suicide incidents that occurred half a day ago, there are not many that actually involve the God Empire. Nearly 10,000 people committed suicide, but they were mainly concentrated in other forces and countries. After all, the last big cleaning had already eliminated a large number of members of the worshipping demon society. As soon as Lin Moyu came back, Meng Anwen said, "Xiaoyu, the investigation has found out that the people who committed suicide half a day ago are indeed members of the Demon Worship Association. They hide very deeply, and they missed it during the last major cleaning." Bai Yuan also said in a low voice, "I didn't expect that worshipping demons would hide so deeply. These people are dark people. They usually don't move, and we can't detect it." Yan Guangxing chuckled, and pissed off Bai Yuan, "It's fine to just admit it blindly, there's nothing wrong with it." Bai Yuan snorted twice and stared at Bai Yuan, but he endured this accident and did not turn back. Meng Anwen said, "Xiaoyu, what's the matter with you hurrying there?" Lin Moyu sat down, poured tea for the three of them, and poured a cup for himself. "I discussed something with Lillian." The three of them were stunned at the same time. Who is Lillian? None of them had heard the name. This name does not seem to have appeared in the historical records of the human race. Lin Moyu realized this, and casually said, "Lillian is the demon emperor." The three of them were startled, and Bai Yuan even sprayed out the tea from his mouth, spraying Yan Guangxing's face all over his face. He was overshadowed. "You went to see the demon emperor?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Well, I also went to the Moyu Palace." "Also went to the demon palace." Lin Moyu's fluffy words made the three feel a little creepy. Going to the abyss is scary enough, but also going to the demon palace. And after going there, he came back safe and sound. The three looked at each other, and they finally realized that their disciple seemed to have reached a height beyond their reach. Lin Moyu is the only one in the human race who is qualified to talk to Umping. In the history of the human race, there is only Lin Moyu who can go to the demon palace and escape unscathed. Meng Anwen took a deep breath to calm himself down. "What did you discuss with the demon emperor?" Lin Moyu said slowly, "The demon emperor wants to cooperate with me." Lin Moyu told the devil emperor what he wanted to cooperate with him. However, Lin Moyu did not express his thoughts on this matter. He was afraid that his thoughts would affect the judgment of Meng Anwen and others. When talking about it, the faces of Meng Anwen and the three were brilliant. They seemed to be listening to bizarre fairy tales, and it is hard to imagine that there are such big mistakes in the history of the human race. Lin Moyu knows that even in the absence of external interference, there will inevitably be mistakes and omissions in history. What's more, behind the entire human race, there is such a queen. After a long time, Meng Anwen let out a long breath. "When I was studying the history of the human race, I really felt something was wrong. Thousands of years ago, the human race was not strong, and it was the weakest of the three races. Especially after the dragon race was expelled, the human race had no chance of winning against the abyssal demons independently. At that time, the abyssal demons had a chance to destroy us, but they didn't. Historical records also recorded that several demon kings died strangely. It was suspected that there was a hidden strong man in the human race. I didn't expect it to be the demon king." Lin Moyu's words have completely overturned the three people's understanding of the history of the human race. Because of the existence of Antares, they all knew that what Lin Moyu said must be correct. Antares has been here not long ago, and it can be said that he has witnessed all the rise and fall of the human race in this era. History is wrong, and Terry's will not be wrong. Bai Yuan said, so, in fact, the Demon Emperor still has favors for our human race? Lin Moyu nodded, although she has her own purpose, in fact she does have favors for us humans. Meng Anwen said, according to her, the consciousness of the abyssal demon is to bring destruction, and she can't stop other abyssal demons on the bright side. In order to maintain balance, she can only choose this method. The fact is that it gave the human race time to breathe and develop, and her hands were not stained with the blood of the human race. This cooperation, I think it is feasible. Trade-offs. Lin Moyu has actually made a decision, and even he can make a decision on behalf of the entire human race. But he still left the decision to Meng Anwen and the others. After all, they are now the people with the highest level and the highest status among the bright faces of the human race. Trust them to make the right choice. Sure enough, Meng Anwen quickly made a choice. He chose to cooperate with the Demon Emperor. Bai Yuan raised his eyebrows and looked at Meng Anwen. What do you mean, let go of the previous hatred? Among the three, the one who fought the Abyss Demon the hardest was Bai Yuan. The person who hates the most is also Bai Yuan. Bai Yuan's brain is not as good as Meng Anwen's, and his analysis of things is not as calm and rational as Meng Anwen's, so he still can't accept it for a while. Meng Anwen looked at Bai Yuan. What are our efforts for? Bai Yuan snorted softly. Needless to say, fight for a space for the human race, so that the demons dare not come to our human race to play wild. Meng Anwen said, if the cooperation between Xiaoyu and the Demon Emperor can be implemented smoothly, then in the future, there will be no more abyssal demons, and no more dragons. There will be no more wars, no more sacrifices. Isn't it a good thing? Bai Yuan trembled, slightly agitated. Where's the Demon Emperor? Before Meng Anwen could speak, Yan Guangxing had already said, you stone-headed, why can't you figure it out? The abyssal demons are gone, so there is no Demon Emperor left. Meng Anwen said softly, historically speaking, the Demon Emperor has actually done a lot for our human race. Although she has selfish intentions, what she does is what she does. You have to admit it. Lin Moyu nodded. Indeed, if there is no Demon Emperor, our human race will be in a different situation. Bai Yuan still couldn't fully accept it, but he didn't speak anymore. Meng Anwen glanced at him, and said to Lin Moyu, don't pay attention to him, he will figure it out. His head turns slowly and it takes time. Lin Moyu couldn't help being amused, as if it was true. Once met Bai Yuan for the first time, Lin Moyu found out that he had been fooled. Meng Anwen murmured, but I still don't understand. There are actually many ways that the Demon Emperor wants to maintain a balance. Why did she choose to stand on our human race's side? Lin Moyu whispered, because she has half human blood. As soon as these words came out, Gu Anwen's expression froze completely. Bai Yuan even jumped up, and the solid stool under his butt shattered into powder with a bang. Yan Guangxing also had a look of disbelief. This is impossible. After a brief shock, Meng Anwen suddenly realized something, and asked anxiously, Xiaoyu, the human bloodline you mentioned is not from our world, right? Lin Moyu nodded, no. Bai Yuan and Yan Guangxing seemed to have heard something unbelievable. They looked at Lin Moyu and Meng Anwen. Yan Guangxing asked, Lao Meng, do you know something? Meng Anwen whispered, don't worry, I'll tell you about this later. Regarding all kinds of information about the world, Lin Moyu only told Meng Anwen. Meng Anwen has strong contact energy and flexible thinking, and he can understand it as soon as he speaks. Bai Yuan and Yan Guangxing needed some time to accept it. Meng Anwen ignored the doubtful too. That makes sense. If the plan is successful, has she said what she plans to do? Lin Moyu said, Lillian didn't say it, but I think she will hide and wait for the opportunity to leave this world. In the fragmented world, her upper limit is a half-step super god, and she can't improve any more. There is an imprint of his soul in the fragmented world. It is useless for her to leave now, she will still be found. Meng Anwen could understand Lin Moyu's words. Although he didn't see it with his own eyes, he could probably guess it. Meng Anwen suddenly thought of something, soul imprint. I remembered one thing, a way of soul imprint. It seems that it appeared in the human race thousands of years ago. It is precisely because of this method that my human race has avoided a lot of damage. This method, could it be her? Lin Moyu nodded. Yes, she gave it to us. Hiss. Meng Anwen said in a deep voice, there is no need to discuss this matter any further, just follow her plan. Meng Anwen's words were finalized. Lin Moyu also basically guessed the result. I know, don't tell anyone about this except us. Of course, they are not entitled to know. Meng Anwen also knew that the more people knew about it, the more trouble it would be. Difficult to say, everything has a trade-off. As the strongest of the human race, they must lead the human race to the brightest direction. Some of these sacrifices were unavoidable. It is also inevitable to let go of hatred. Just like the cooperation with the Abyss Demon thousands of years ago, didn't the two sides also do it? After Lin Moyu left, Bai Yiyuan and Yan Quanxing fixed their eyes on Meng Anwen. They still have questions. Meng Anwen sighed softly, I didn't tell you, because I was afraid that you wouldn't be able to accept it. If you want to know, be prepared. 11. Bai Yiyuan said with disdain, you can accept it, but there is nothing I can't accept. Yan Quanxing said, let's talk, we have lived half our lives, there is nothing we can't bear. Meng Anwen hummed, what level do you think the strongest should be? Bai Yiyuan said without hesitation, of course it is a super god. The human race just lacks a super god, otherwise it will definitely be able to suppress the abyssal demons and dragons. Meng Anwen chuckled, then what level do you think Inran is? Yan Quanxing knew that Meng Anwen was referring to Antares, it should be a super god, maybe a very powerful member of the super god. Meng Anwen shook his head, in the eyes of adults, Chaos Hen is almost like an ant. It can kill a large area with one breath. Impossible. No way. Meng Anwen laughed softly, sit still, I will speak slowly. Lin Moyu returned to Xinxia ancient city again. His cooperation with the Demon Emperor has been confirmed, and what is waiting now is for his realm to improve. This is the premise of cooperation. If he can't super god, can't become the master of the world, the cooperation proposed by the Demon Emperor is a joke. Lin Moyu also thought that if he reached the super god level, he would not have to cooperate with the Demon Emperor at all. He is enough to kill all dragons and abyssal demons. Even killing the Dragon Emperor and Lillian is not a problem, but after knowing what Lillian had done for the human race, he gave up this idea. The kindness of a drop of water should be repaid by a spring. No matter what the purpose is, Lillian has indeed done a lot for the human race. This point must be admitted. And Lillian didn't kill a human race, but because of her, many human races were reborn. So Lin Moyu can't kill Lillian, he can't do this kind of revenge. While thinking about it, he had already left the ancient city of Xinxia, and the wings of the undead spread, across the continent, across the sea of wind and thunder, and headed for the continent of wind and thunder. Not long after, the undead army reappeared on Feng Lei continent and began to massacre Lei Duichuan and Feng Guocan. This is currently the fastest way Lin Moyu can find an upgrade. Under the butcher knife of the undead army, Lin Moyu's experience is soaring like a rocket. For thousands of years, Lin Moyu is the only one who can use Lei Shuchuan and Feng Guocan to level up. Feng Lei continent is also the cemetery of gods. The thunder in it represents the god of thunder and lightning, and now it has really disappeared. Lin Moyu's steadfastness is unforgettable at a glance, and Lin Moyu was shocked by her heart-wrenching, mournful helplessness. Especially after knowing the past of the gods, Lin Moyu felt even more worried. Although it is only a god, not a human race. But they are the first comrades in arms of the human race and the beginning of this era. They face the crisis and fight side by side with the human race. Fallen fall, sleepy sleep. There are also sages in the human race who have changed their bloodlines and become gods. Most of the gods in that era became the best comrades in arms of the human race. Like the human race, they were born from this era, have the imprint of this era, and have a sense of belonging to this era. The same is true for Lin Moyu. For the previous era, even if he was a fan, Lin Moyu didn't have much 943 feeling. but Lin Moyu has different feelings about the human race of this era. This is the imprint of the times, the imprint of an entire era. Lin Moyu didn't feel this until his soul became a god. The god of thunder is dead, and the god of wind should also be sleeping in the wind and thunder continent. I don't know where it is. Lin Moyu didn't want to look for it. Now there is no way to revive it, to seek it out, to no avail, no harm. Just let it continue to sleep until you have the ability to revive them, and then wake them up. Coming to Feng Lei continent again this time, Lin Moyu continued to attack Lei Shuchuan and Feng Guocan. But Lin Moyu didn't go to provoke the Thunder Tree group in the Thunder Mountain range. Although there are the largest number of thunder trees there is also a terrifying existence sleeping under the mountain range. It was Thor's former mount, and fell asleep due to serious injuries, and the place where he slept was arranged by Antares. There should be some relationship between the two parties. Regardless of the reason for going out, Lin Moyu didn't want to trouble him again. Lin Moyu only played the Thunder Tree group on the periphery and the Wind Flower group encountered. Although the efficiency is low, it is also enough for leveling. The entire Feng Lei tree is thousands of kilometers long and wide, and there are countless thunder trees and wind flowers in total. For thousands of years, very few people have come to attack them, making their group stronger and stronger. Now it's all cheaper Lin Moyu, and has become Lin Moyu's pocket. Experience began to soar again. According to Lin Moyu's estimation, it would take less than a day to upgrade from level 79 to level 80. At that time it will be another qualitative leap. Level 80 will have new skills, and it is also the level at which most professionals master the most powerful skills. Level 90 is a god-level domain, and there are no new skills. Level 80 is also the last chance for professionals to wake up and master new skills. Almost all professionals will do everything they can to master new skills at level 80 at this level. After level 80, you will start to step into the road of becoming a god. Also at level 80, many professionals began to get in touch with souls. They need to understand the soul, understand the essence of the soul, and enhance the level of the soul. With a powerful soul, touch the skill space and find the origin of the skill. In the end, the skill star core was moved out of the skill space, and ordinary skills were transformed into soul skills, which is what Antares called spells. When a skill is transformed into a spell, even a mere 1% fusion will undergo a miraculous change. The power of the skill is greatly increased, and the effect is completely different. Until the level reaches the peak level of 89, transferring a skill star core can become a half-step god level. 2 skill star cores can truly enter the god level, then it will be a new world. But only 2 skill star cores, 2 source skills, only the smallest god level in the same level. Among the same level, the more source skills, the stronger. Bai Yuan and Yan Guangxing are both at level 95, and they also have 3 source skills, which are stronger than Yi Hao at the same level. And because Meng Anwen is a dual professional god-level relationship, he has 4 source skills, which is even better in terms of combat power. As for Lin Moyu, his path is completely different from that of ordinary people. He wants to convert all skill star cores into source skills, and even wants to get 3 talents out of the extremely mysterious talent space. Only in this way can one achieve a perfect god level, have a combat power that ordinary people cannot match, and truly pave the way for future strength. All kinds of methods lead to the same source, and the final destination is the same. Lin Moyu's eyes flickered slightly, and his eyes were downcast. The undead army is fighting, Lei Shu is constantly being killed, and his experience is increasing rapidly. His upgrade speed is hundreds of times that of other professionals. He only needs 1 day when others use it for a year. As long as there are enough monsters, the upgrade speed is not a problem. Lin Moyu didn't care about the things on the battlefield, he was thinking about what Antares said. There is more than one way to upgrade the human race. No matter what the method is, it is to reach the final destination. Every world has different rules. In my world, the path I take is the strongest path and the hardest path. Only when I have cleared this road and entered the big world in the future, can I walk on the road of the big world more smoothly. But I have a hunch. Lin Moyu raised his head and looked at the sky. My path will not be that simple. As the escalation approached, that suppressed feeling returned. The higher the level, the more obvious the feeling of being suppressed. This is a kind of suppression that even Antares can't find the root cause. It can only show that the source level is very high, exceeding the level of Antares. When Lin Moyu said this feeling to Antares, Antares still felt that Lin Moyu's feelings were wrong. But now, Lin Moyu clearly felt the sense of oppression again. And he is very sure that the sense of oppression comes from the depths of the soul. It was like a curse that had been entangled with me and rooted in the deepest part of my soul. It's just that the level is too high. Even now, Lin Moyu has not been able to find its trace. Group after group of windflower thunder trees were wiped out, and a day later, Lin Moyu glowed with an upgrade. Different from any upgrade in the past, this upgrade emits a golden light, which reveals a thick golden light, brilliant and dazzling. The golden light source comes from the soul, emanates from the soul, spreads throughout the body, and then shines out from the skin. Lin Moyu was shrouded in golden light all over and turned into a golden man. Level 80 is a threshold, the threshold for the soul, to cry for the first time. 4.5 From this level, one must start to deal with the soul. The focus of cultivation has been upgraded from fighting monsters to soul comprehension. Of course, you still have to fight monsters, and fighting monsters is still the source of experience, and experience is the power of the soul. This is the rule of the world, and no one can avoid it, at least in this world. Lin Moyu felt that while upgrading, the power of the soul suddenly increased a lot. The improvement is so large that it exceeds the previous levels. Even if the total amount of soul enhancement has been upgraded by 3 levels before, it is nothing more than that. Level 80 is a qualitative change, indeed. With the ascension of the soul, Lin Moyu sat in the air and began to realize, others need to try to find the touch skill space at this level. It takes a long time to explore, and they may not be successful. But Lin Moyu was like a robber, kicking open the door of the skill space, and the huge soul power he carried descended. Soul power is level 80, not much stronger than other professionals. But the soul level is different, the same soul power, the effect is completely different. It's like a caddy of wood and a caddy of iron, both weigh a caddy, but a caddy of iron can easily smash a caddy of wood. Now Lin Moyu is in such a state. Compared with other 80-level professionals, his soul power is not known to be how many times purer. Even a professional who has just become a god-level professional is not as good as Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's soul level has reached level 93, reaching the category of medium god level. The power of the soul is like a robber, coming here familiarly. The door to the skill space has been opened long ago, facing Lin Moyu's strength, he has no defense. Lin Moyu came in this time, not to grab the skill star core, but to find the skill star core that had not been activated and ignited. At level 80, the remaining skill star cores should also be ignited. Lin Moyu also wanted to see what his level 80 skills were like. With some expectations, the power of the soul rushed to the deepest part of the skill space. No, Lin Moyu was a little strange. In the deepest part of the skill space, he couldn't find any skill star cores that hadn't been ignited yet. Don't you have new skills at level 80? It shouldn't be. The skill space is not large, and the unignited skill 02 star core is not difficult to find no matter how small it is. The power of the soul is spread out in a big net, spreading out layer upon layer, not letting go of every inch of space. The power of the soul like flowing water swept over the gleaming skill star cores one after another, but found nothing. Lin Moyu felt even more strange, as if he saw something incredible. Level 80 no skills? Does your skill stop there? Impossible. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't believe it. He is not someone who gives up so easily. In the next second, Lin Moyu thought that he felt the force of suppression. It seems that there is some power that obscures his induction. Especially now, just after leveling up, the power of the soul has soared, the touch of the soul is extremely sharp, and the power of suppression can be clearly felt. Suppressed feelings are not good, and you are blinding yourself. Lin Moyu started a new round of searching, more carefully than before. The power of the soul is constantly searching in the skill space, one by one, without letting go of any clues. Lin Moyu sat in midair, not saying a word or making any movement. The upgraded light on his body had long since disappeared, and Lin Moyu remained silent. Time passed day by day, and Lin Moyu sat for 5 days. The undead army is the most loyal guard, and under the command of the Lich General, they formed a defensive circle. Lin Moyu was protected layer by layer. Now whoever approaches will be treated as an enemy. In these 5 days, Lin Moyu has turned over the skill space again and again, but still nothing. But the more so, the more strange Lin Moyu felt. He is too confident in himself, he believes that it is impossible for him not to have level 80 skills. And in the 5 days, the suppressed feeling showed no signs of diminishing, and even increased. It seems that there is a kind of appearance that I will not retreat until you give up. Lin Moyu and the opponent were exhausted. Since you won't retreat, then I will look for it even more. 5 days later, Lin Moyu took out the dragon scale of Antares and activated it. The undead army disappeared collectively, Lin Moyu also disappeared instantly, and the next second he appeared beside Antares. Antares felt Lin Moyu's breath, and his eyes opened a crack. Brat, it's level 80. Antares was not surprised that Lin Moyu could reach level 80. Upgrading is not difficult. For Lin Moyu, the team level would be a breeze if it wasn't for trifles. But in the next second, Antares felt that Lin Moyu's state was not right. Boy, are you alright? Lin Moyu didn't answer, he frowned at this moment, as if he was in a special state. Antares' eyes were all opened, and a golden light glowed from the giant dragon's eyes, covering Lin Moyu like a searchlight. Lin Moyu magnified infinitely in its sight, and Antares saw everything about Lin Moyu clearly in an instant. With its level, as long as you want to see clearly, it's the same whether Lin Moyu wants to or not. It saw Lin Moyu's soul, and Lin Moyu's soul also frowned. Come in. Lin Moyu seemed to feel Antares' gaze, and a voice came out of his soul. Antares entered Lin Moyu's soul world without hesitation. Lin Moyu's soul voice resounded mightily throughout the soul world, you help me look at the soul, I am fighting against the power that suppresses me. Antares frowned, it was just an idea in Lin Moyu's soul, and it didn't have many abilities. Although a thought can also be seen and heard, it is only seen and heard. I need to let more power in, Antares said. Lin Moyu did not hesitate at all and was comfortable. A simple word, but it contains full trust in Antares. Antares let out a dragon cry, and the power of the soul surged like a stormy sea. The entity quickly condensed in Lin Moyu's soul world, and a purple-gold dragon appeared in the soul world. This is the condensate of Antares' soul power, which can be regarded as the soul clone of Antares. With enough power, Antares can use some of its abilities. The dragon burst out with brilliant light, instantly rendering Lin Moyu's soul space purple-gold. A huge dragon eye appears in the spirit world, and the dragon eye has the shadow of Lin Moyu's soul. Shenlong Wisdom Eye. Antares cast its spell, the Eye of the Dragon. Antares said, you can do your own thing with peace of mind, let me take a look here, good. Lin Moyu was very relieved, his soul was instantly silent, and all his mind entered the skill space. Lin Moyu started looking for the skill 870 star core that should exist again. He didn't believe that he didn't have level 80 skills. He used all the power of his soul to search, and he was bound to find it. The more soul power he uses, the more obvious the suppression he can feel. That inexplicable feeling, as if he was really against him, became stronger and stronger. Antares stared closely at Lin Moyu's soul. The Divine Dragon's Wisdom Eye is a magic technique of the Dragon Clan. It is said that under the Wisdom Eye, there is nothing to hide. At the level of Antares, it believes that nothing can be hidden from it. However, Lin Moyu once told it that there was an abnormality, and it found nothing at that time, and said that Lin Moyu felt that something was wrong. But now, Lin Moyu is like this again, and it also has to believe in Lin Moyu's feelings. Already at level 80, soul level 93, I feel how easy it is to make mistakes. did I miss something? Antares thought to himself, looking very carefully. Lin Moyu has mobilized more than 99% of his soul energy without reservation. There is nothing in the soul. In this state, Antares finally had some clues. Found it. Hidden so deep, let me see what it is. It saw a point, and then Shenlong Huiyan fully activated, and this thing continued to magnify in the line of sight. After magnifying tens of millions of times, it finally saw this thing clearly. Antares let out an exclamation suddenly, and Shenlong Huiyan collapsed. Antares' exclamation resounded through Lin Moyu's soul world. There was fear in the voice, as if seeing something terrifying. It's just that now Lin Moyu is completely immersed in the skill space and doesn't hear it. The soul clone condensed by Antares seemed to be trembling, to be precise, shivering. It seems to be afraid. Not only the soul clone, but even its body is afraid. The curse of the great world, how could it be the curse of the great world? Stinky boy, what is your origin, how could you be cursed by the big world? The image he couldn't get rid of in his mind was a rune, an extremely simple and extremely complex rune. There are not many people who can recognize this rune, and unfortunately, Antares is one of them. Antares could tell at a glance that it was a rune of the great world, representing the most advanced and primitive rune of the great world. The big world runes have another meaning, that is, the most fundamental power and the most primitive rules of this big world are the source of everything, the ancestor. The big world is not the small world that Lin Moyu lives in. The difference between the two is like the sea and the sea. There is a legend in the big world, whoever can control the runes of the big world can become the master of the big world and become the supreme existence. I don't know how many invincible powerhouses tried to master the great world rune, but all ended in failure. But for countless years, there are still invincible strong men who continue to try and fight for it. Controlling the big world rune is the end of the road to the strong. Not to mention controlling it, it is even difficult to see the great world rune. It can be said that more than 90% of all the invincible powerhouses in the big world have never seen it. Antares met once by chance. It was during the ceremony of worshipping the ancestral dragon manifested, and there was a big world rune on its body. Not really a rune, just a brand. At that time Antares was still young, far from being as powerful as it is now. But this scene will remain in the memory forever, and it will be unforgettable even after countless years have passed. Later he found out that this is the Great World Rune, and not everyone is qualified to see the Great World Rune. But Lin Moyu now has a big world rune in his soul, but this rune didn't bring any benefits to Lin Moyu, it only brought curses. The terrifying curse power destroyed Shenlong Huiyan in an instant. Antares finally knew that Lin Moyu's feelings were not wrong, and he was indeed cursed. But why does the big world rune curse Lin Moyu? Lin Moyu is such an inconspicuous existence. Even if the world where Lin Moyu lives is just a drop of water to the big world, Lin Moyu is just an inconspicuous one in this drop of water. Why did the big world rune curse him, suppress him? What is the origin of Lin Moyu? Antares is extremely curious, but he knows that even if he thinks about it, he won't figure it out. Even Lin Moyu himself doesn't know the answer. Antares looked at Lin Moyu's soul and kept thinking about countermeasures. Facing the curse of the Great World Rune, how should it be repaid? Should I give up Lin Moyu now, or what should I do? Since Lin Moyu is cursed by the Great World Rune, his future is doomed to be gloomy. No matter what Lin Moyu's identity is, it seems that it is not important anymore, and the future is not bright. If it helps Lin Moyu, will it also be implicated? This is the big world rune, Lian Zulong, back then. Antares, who knew some inside information, felt deep fear. What should I do? What should I do? Antares was very tangled. Lin Moyu is still looking for his own skill star core in the skill space. But Antares already knew that Lin Moyu was doomed to return in vain, impossible to get rid of the bandits. Antares knows Lin Moyu's character and will never give up. If you fail once, you will do it a second time. If you told him the truth, Lin Moyu's faith might collapse, but it was more likely to be a stubborn resistance. Compatible with Great World Runes. That is to fight against the whole big world. Is there hope? Antares' memories kept rolling, and his eyes flickered continuously. Scenes of memories came flooding back. We are friends. I will compensate you for killing back. Whether right or wrong, whoever you want to kill, I will help you kill whoever you want. Because we are friends. I believe in you. I believe in everything. Lin Moyu's words are like waves churning endlessly. Antares' gaze gradually became firm, and after a few seconds, it made a decision. Its body snorted softly, and a huge force descended from the sky and landed on Lin Moyu. The undead army in the summoning space collapsed collectively, and then came back from the dead. Then the second attack, third way. Fourth way. With 4 attacks in a row, Lin Moyu's body suddenly flashed with purple light, and the comprehensive newborn talent was activated. Without the undead aura of the elemental lich, you don't need to kill 5 times, 4 times is enough. In the soul world, the already empty soul becomes full again. But after being born again, Lin Moyu's consciousness was forcibly pulled back. Lin Moyu's soul opened his eyes. What's wrong? Antares thought about it. I have found the reason, and I was wondering if I should tell you the answer. Antares' tone was slightly heavy, which made Lin Moyu realize the seriousness of the matter. Are you afraid that I won't be able to bear it? Lin Moyu asked in a deep voice. Talking to smart people is easy, Lin Moyu already knows why in one sentence. Antares nodded, but did not speak. Lin Moyu chuckled. No need, my endurance is not as bad as you think. Antares said, the answer is hopeless. There is no complete despair in the world, and I'm afraid I don't know anything. As long as you know, you can always find hope. Lin Moyu didn't care at all, he just wanted to know the answer. Antares thought for a while. Okay, then let me tell you. Inside your soul, there is indeed a curse. Lin Moyu has checked his soul countless times, but he never found out. The level of the curse is very high. Very, very, very high. Antares used a total of 3 extremes, representing its attitude. Li Zhao, how tall? Don't hesitate, finish speaking in one breath, I'll see how desperate I can be. Lin Moyu seemed to have lost his patience and was a little impatient. In this way, if there is no sentence, it is better to finish all at once. Blunt knife cuts flesh, Lin Moyu doesn't like it. Antares let out a dragon cry, took a deep breath, and finally spoke. Okay, let me speak slowly. There is a curse in your body. The curse is just an appearance, its core is the Great World rune. The rune of the Great World is the core power of the Great World, and it is something that all invincible powers are pursuing. However, no one has ever succeeded. I don't know why there are big world runes in your body, and the big world runes are still cursing you. But with this rune, you will be hostile by the whole world. Antares finally said the matter in one breath. He let out a long sigh of relief after speaking, and finally relaxed to talk. After Lin Moyu finished listening, he slowly spit out 2 words. That's it? Antares uttered a dragon chant again, and the dragon chant was full of surprise. Lin Moyu replied bluntly, making it feel strange. Are you not afraid? Lin Moyu shook his head. It's useless to be afraid, and I guessed it a long time ago. How could you guess? Antares didn't believe it at all. What's so strange about it? You couldn't see my physical condition at the time, so I already guessed that my problem might be serious. Now you tell me, it's the Great World rune, although I don't know that the Great World rune is scary, it's scary anyway. But so what, anyway? This thing is already there, and there are only 2 things I can do. One is to accept the reality and give up struggling, which is to accept fate. Second, don't give up, continue to struggle, even if you are an ant, you must pierce the sky. What's more, didn't you say that the invincible powers in the big world are all pursuing it? Since it is in my soul, maybe it is a good thing. Lin Moyu showed no fear at all, as if he was talking about a very common thing. Antares was shocked by Lin Moyu's words again. It couldn't imagine how Lin Moyu could accept it so calmly. For anyone, it should be despair, but in Lin Moyu's eyes, there is no despair at all, only fighting spirit. 5:40 At this moment, some emotions in Antares were also mobilized. the decision just made is more firm. Antares said in a deep voice, in that case, let's see if we can break the sky. Lin Moyu said, you can actually stay out of it. Antares shook the dragon's head, as you said, we are friends. It bites the word friend so strongly that Lin Moyu can't refuse. Since you don't refuse, let's do it together. Try your best, even if you fail, you will not live up to your efforts. It's better than giving up without trying, otherwise how can I be reconciled? Then tell me, what should I do? Antares said, there is a secret technique in our dragon clan, which can temporarily put the soul into a state of sleep and cut off all connections with the outside world. Using this secret technique in conjunction with the soul division technique, it may be possible to temporarily get rid of the curse of the Great World Rune. Lin Moyu thought for a while, you mean, I use the soul-splitting technique to separate a strand of soul, and then put my consciousness into this strand of soul. Then put the main soul into a deep sleep state and cut off all connections. Let the big world rune think that my soul is asleep, so it won't interfere anymore. And the ray of consciousness that I separated enters the soul space and activates the skill star core. Antares nodded, that's it, other than that, some other means are needed. Lin Moyu had already fully guessed what Antares was thinking. Not only does it need to cooperate with the soul division method and the dragon's secret technique, it also needs the corresponding soul container. The most important thing is his comprehensive freshman talent. Without this talent, nothing is possible. Antares began to prepare. A huge dragon scale flew out of the thick fog and came to Antares. Antares breathed out the dragon's breath, and the dragon's scales burned blazingly. The dragon scales exploded in the breath of the dragon, dividing one into 10. The 10 dragon scale fragments kept changing shapes in the breath of the dragon, and finally turned into pieces of transparent crystals. It's not over yet, Antares continues to burn the crystals with dragon's breath to remove impurities. After baking like this for 3 days and 3 nights, the crystals that were originally bigger than Lin Moyu's body became only the size of a fist. The appearance has also changed, becoming the appearance of a dragon. It looks exactly the same as Dragon Soul Crystal, but it has no color. Antares took the colorless Dragon Soul Crystal and re-entered Lin Moyu's soul world. Inject your soul power into it through the 9-colored Dragon Soul Crystal. Antares sent the colorless Dragon Soul Crystal to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu felt an unusual breath from it. These colorless Dragon Soul Crystals can store soul power. The 9-colored Dragon Soul Crystal has the effect of purifying the soul. Lin Moyu immediately injected a large amount of soul power into the 9-colored Dragon Soul Crystal, and the 9-colored Dragon Soul Crystal immediately began to breathe out dragon breath, pouring mouthfuls of purified soul power into the colorless Dragon Soul Crystal. Antares said, these colorless Dragon Soul Crystals are used by our dragon clan to temporarily store the power of the soul. The effect, Aka, is not very great, and it can only be used in emergencies. For the dragon clan, the colorless Dragon Soul Crystal is not very useful. It can only temporarily store the power of the soul, and there are not many places to use it. But now, Lin Moyu is just right for it. There are no useless things, only useless places. Lin Moyu sent his soul power into the colorless Dragon Soul Crystal without reservation, and a colorless Dragon Soul Crystal just stored all of Lin Moyu's soul power. After injecting the power of the soul, the Dragon Soul Crystal, that was originally dragonless, appeared in color. The golden soul energy flows slowly in the Dragon Soul Crystal, setting off the Dragon Soul Crystal like a piece of beautiful jade. In the process of Lin Moyu injecting his soul, Antares was not idle either. It opened Shenlong Huiyan again, staring at the whole process without blinking. It is afraid that the cursed power of the Great World Rune will also enter the Dragon Soul Crystal along with Lin Moyu's soul power. Fortunately, no, the soul power has become extremely pure after being purified by the 9-colored Dragon Soul Crystal. After it was completely over, it was still not at ease, and looked at it complicatedly and carefully for a while, before confirming that there was no problem. It said, I'm going to kill you. Lin Moyu nodded, do it. As soon as the words fell, Antares' power had already hit his head. The undead army collectively collapsed. Antares' attacks came one after another, and after 4 such attacks, Lin Moyu was surrounded by purple light, and he was reborn in the flame of talent. After rebirth, Lin Moyu infused the power of the soul into the second colorless dragon soul crystal. Antares continued to stare at the whole process with the eyes of the dragon to ensure that there was no problem in the whole process. The big world rune is not only powerful, but also weird. No one knows what will happen, and no one can guarantee that there will be no accidents. Antares was full of fear and apprehension towards the runes of the great world, and he did not dare to relax in the whole process. This is the right thing to do with the great world rune, and Antares is faintly excited, besides fear. It feels as if it is creating a miracle, doing something that no one else can imagine. Old guy, if you know what I'm doing now, you might be able to scare Long Jiao away. The big world rune that you value so much, the big world rune that everyone is pursuing, Nizi wants to fight against it. Antares hummed in his heart, his eyes sparkled with excitement. The two cooperated seamlessly, using the comprehensive newborn talent again and again to store a large amount of soul power in the colorless dragon soul crystal. As a temporary container of soul power, the colorless dragon soul crystal can only last for a few days. The power of the soul inside will gradually dissipate. In just a few days, enough Lin Moyu used it. Only half a day later, 10 dragon soul crystals filled with soul power and filled with golden brilliance were completed. Each piece has a whole share of Lin Moyu's soul power. Shining purple, Lin Moyu is reborn from talent again. The soul is full again. Antares was very serious, and said in a deep voice, "The next step is the most important step. You have to control the amount well, neither too big nor too small. If it is too big, it will attract the attention of the runes of the big world. If it is too small, you can't control the power of your soul, and you can't even form a complete consciousness." Like Antares, Lin Moyu is also a little dignified at this time. If this step is not done well, all previous preparatory work will be in vain. Lin Moyu used the Requiem method to carefully split a trace of soul from the soul itself. No more, no less. Difficulty requirements are very high. In the past, when Lin Moyu first mastered the soul-splitting technique, he couldn't have done it. But now, thanks to the practice of undead wing skills, the ability to control the power of the soul has been greatly improved. Even his understanding of Requiem is completely different from before. So this plan can be realized. Strands of souls split from the main body to form soul clones. The soul clone gradually solidified and became the second Lin Moyu. The second Lin Moyu is obviously a circle smaller than the main body, and because of the lack of soul power, it looks a bit illusory. 10 strands of souls could be split before, but the 10 strands of souls did not carry consciousness. The split soul now needs to carry consciousness, and the difficulty is completely different. Lin Moyu is very careful, little by little, little by little. After spending half a day, a complete soul clone was finally split. Antares still stared at the whole process with his divine dragon eyes, until Lin Moyu nodded towards it with his soul clone, and Antares heaved a long sigh of relief. The big world rune is still in Lin Moyu's soul body, and there is no movement. Obviously, he is not interested in the soul avatar or the great world rune. The soul avatar is too weak, less than 1% of the main body, so it is not worthy of attention. Antares whispered, "Next, I will use a secret technique to put your soul body into a deep sleep. Your consciousness will be impacted by the secret technique. If you can't stand it, your consciousness will fall into a deep sleep along with the soul body, and your soul clone will also collapse at the same time." Lin Moyu knew that it must not be easy to deceive the great world rune. Now we can only take one step at a time. However, he was full of confidence, just like Antares, a little excited. "Let's start." Lin Moyu took a deep breath. The soul state does not need to breathe at all. This is just his habit. The main body and the avatar are inhaling at the same time, which looks a bit amusing. Antares groaned softly, and a dragon appeared in the soul world. The dragon spewed out clouds of mist, turned into dark clouds, and floated towards Lin Moyu, completely covering Lin Moyu's soul body. Mystery, the cloud of ignorance. According to Antares, the cloud of unconsciousness can seal off all perception, leaving the target in a deep sleep that is hard to resist. Moreover, the cloud of ignorance cast by it surpassed Lin Moyu by an unknown number of levels. Lin Moyu's soul was powerless to resist, and fell into a deep sleep almost instantly. As soon as the main body fell asleep, another piece of consciousness was also affected. Lin Moyu's consciousness was in chaos, and he felt like he was on the verge of collapse. A strong sense of drowsiness hit. At this moment, he wanted to sleep so much that he would sleep until the end of time and never wake up. In the cloud of ignorance, once you fall into a deep sleep, you will close your six senses and fall asleep completely. If no one wakes up, it is normal to sleep for thousands of years. Lin Moyu kept Antares' words in mind, and the clone's consciousness tried to stay awake, fighting against drowsiness. Antares also stared at it closely. As soon as the main body fell asleep, the Great World Rune seemed to lose its movement. The result was almost as expected, and Antares breathed a sigh of relief. It then shifted its attention to Lin Moyu's soul clone. The soul clone is fighting against the drowsiness from the main body. Hold on. You must hold on. Antares spoke softly, not sure, because it was too difficult. Lin Moyu's soul level is not enough. The strength is weak, it is difficult. But now I have to do it again. Lin Moyu's soul clone kept trembling, and it could be seen that he was fighting. But the drowsiness brought by the cloud of ignorance was too strong, and Lin Moyu gradually couldn't hold on. The drowsiness is getting stronger and stronger, and Lin Moyu seems to hear someone constantly saying to himself, "Sleep, sleep, and you will have no troubles when you sleep." Suddenly, a purple beam flew from the depths of the soul, crossed time and space, and landed on Lin Moyu's soul clone. Lin Moyu shuddered and suddenly woke up. Antares showed a look of shock. This purple light came very strangely, and the aura contained in the purple light was extremely vast, not less than the big world rune. As for the body of the purple light, Antares could tell at a glance that it was a little Mars, a purple Mars. Antares wanted to find the source of the purple light, but couldn't find it. It appeared very abruptly, and then disappeared abruptly. It can be said that there is no trace left, and it is extremely mysterious. Not even Antares knew where it came from. Purple light is just a little spark, an insignificant little spark. After rushing into the soul clone, the original drowsiness disappeared instantly, and Lin Moyu was fully awake. The influence of the cloud of ignorance disappears completely. How about it? Antares asked in a deep voice. Lin Moyu nodded. You can proceed to the next step. Lin Moyu saw the flying purple light when he was asleep, and vaguely guessed where the purple light came from. Talent world. The most mysterious place in my soul. There are 3 purple flames in the talent world, representing 3 unique talents of oneself. Most importantly, the talent world also has its own system. The Mars that turned into purple light just now should be related to them. No matter what it is, now that he is awake, he must proceed to the next step. For other things, you have to take it easy. Lin Moyu knows the importance. According to the plan arranged in advance, Lin Moyu's soul clone came to the skill space. 10 colorless dragon soul crystals filled with soul power followed closely behind. The soul power possessed by the soul clone itself is very little, less than 1% of the body. But at this time, the avatar is only used as a medium. The avatar communicated with one of the dragon soul crystals, and the soul power stored in it suddenly surged out, covering the entire skill space at an astonishing speed. Lin Moyu has to hurry up. God knows how long the effect of the cloud of ignorance will last. After all, the other party is the Great World Rune, and it is the most original power of the whole Great World. I'm afraid that even those old men riding green bulls didn't realize the existence of the Great World Rune on their bodies. In case it wakes up and intervenes again, it will no longer have a holster. Race against time? No, even 0.01 second can decide the future life and death. The first dragon soul crystal was activated, and the soul power inside filled the skill space in less than 1 second. Lin Moyu's eyes sparkled. Found it. Sure enough, he has skills. The skill star core, which could not be found before, is now really found. There are not many, only 3 skill cores. It also represents his 3 skills at level 80. The previous skills were hidden by the Great World Rune in a way that he couldn't understand. Now that there is no interference from the big world runes, it is easy to find them. Lin Moyu didn't even dare to delay for 0.1 second. When he found them, the remaining dragon soul crystals had already been activated. Huge soul energy surged forward, rushing into the skill star core, trying to ignite them. The skill star core began to glow, the law between heaven and earth was running, and the magical power descended from the sky, got into Lin Moyu's body, passed through the soul world, and entered the skill space. Activating the skill star core will inevitably arouse the resonance of the law. At the moment when the law resonated, Lin Moyu's soul body suddenly opened his eyes. The big world runes start to sparkle in, and Terry's let out a roar, with fear in the roar. The great world rune suddenly woke up, and it didn't expect it. But the fear was the fear, and Antares acted immediately. Countless light spots lit up in Lin Moyu's body, and each light spot turned into the appearance of a dragon. They were distributed in every corner of the body, interconnected and intertwined, forming a large net. These are the arrangements of Antares. During the time of cooperating with Lin Moyu, Antares has been prepared for such an accident as now. The big net comes from the power of Antares, filled with extremely profound laws, trying to delay the cursed power of the big world rune. It is impossible to stop, Antares has self-knowledge. How terrible the big world rune is, it's clear. There are many legends about the big world rune in the Dragon Clan, and each legend is extremely mysterious. There are many invincible powerhouses in the Dragon Clan who disappeared and never came back on the road of 630 in pursuit of the Great World Rune. Antares is unwilling to have any contact with the Great World Rune, but for Lin Moyu, it spelled it out. I can't stop it. I can only try my best to procrastinate and buy more time for Lin Moyu. The huge power carried the law, formed a thick defense, and blocked the big world rune. An unimaginable curse force emerged from the rune and collided with Antares' defense net. The defense net suddenly exploded and collapsed like tofu. For the first time, Antares truly saw the power of runes from the great world. This is the most original power in the big world, and it is the power that everyone wants to control. It has finally come into contact with it now, but it is in the way of an enemy, and I don't know whether to be happy or sad. Antares snorted. The defensive net is formed by its soul power carrying laws, and the collapse of the defensive net will also cause shocks to its soul. Although it will not hurt, it is also very uncomfortable. There was madness in Antares' eyes. I don't believe it anymore, no matter how good you are, can't I even delay? Antares roared again and again, roaring, and a lot of soul power poured in. It used nearly half of the soul power, and at its level, half of the soul power was unknown how many times more than Lin Moyu. Because of Lin Moyu's comprehensive freshman talent, Antares doesn't need to worry about Lin Moyu's safety. Its soul power carries the law of terror, rushing in mightily. Like a needle pointed against a weed on, it really collided with the big world rune. Antares is not good at defense, it is best at offense. The law of enveloping the dragon's soul forms countless swords and weapons, and attacks against the cursed power of the big world rune. The two sides collided, and the huge calendar could hardly restrain the spread. There was a muffled sound from Lin Moyu's body, and the terrifying force caused damage to it. The undead army died instantly. The power of Antares was defeated at the moment of collision, and the curse of the Great World Rune was like an indestructible spear, piercing Antares' offensive. Antares is not afraid at this time, it is crazier than before, laughing wildly, haha, I still let you slow down, it seems that you are not invincible. Antares' laughter was extremely crazy. It collided with the power of the Great World Rune just now. Although he was defeated, it also made the opponent pause. The pause may be less than 0.1 second, but Antares really felt it. As long as you can pause for 0.1 seconds, it is possible to pause for 0.2, 0.3 seconds, or even longer. Amidst the loud laughter, Antares mobilized his strength to charge forward again. Invisible forces fought fiercely with Lin Moyu's body as the battlefield. Lin Moyu is ignorant at this time, and he is unaware of what is happening outside the skill space. It is fully activating 3 skill star cores. Activating 3 skill star cores at the same time is quite stressful. But he has no time to waste, it has to. Fortunately, I was well prepared and my soul energy was extremely abundant. The 3 skill star cores became brighter and brighter, and began to shine. If this continues, it won't be long before it can be fully activated. The power of law comes from outside, enters the skill space, and integrates into the skill star core. The skill star core became active. The power of the law pouring in is getting stronger and stronger than ever before. Lin Moyu knew that these 3 skills must be weak. Otherwise, the curse power brought by the big world rune will not stop him. I just don't know what kind of skill my level 80 skill will be. Lin Moyu is full of expectations. The laws of heaven and earth are still pouring in, and so is the soul energy. The dragon soul crystals were consumed one by one. Suddenly, Lin Moyu found that his avatar had reconnected with the main body. Not good. Lin Moyu realized that his body had awakened for some reason. When the main body wakes up, the Great World Rune will also wake up, and there is not much time left for him. Lin Moyu sipped lightly, continuously pumping his soul energy into the skill star core. He's picking up speed, anxious. In the outside world, Antares clashed with the runes of the Great World again and again, constantly colliding. It has gone crazy, and the terrifying energy has swept the entire ancient battlefield. It has spread to the lower space, and some even entered the deep space. A roar came from the deep space, expressing anger and bloodlust. At this moment, both the monster bosses in the upper space and the lower space were trembling with fear. The monsters that were fighting the human race suddenly shrank back and did not dare to move. Human race professionals, dragon race and demons also felt a huge force descending from the sky and falling on them. The air thickened and every breath became difficult. The mist on Antares' body continued to roll, revealing a huge dragon body. A huge dragon body with a length of more than 10,000 meters is entrenched on the ground, and the dragon scales stand upside down. A vortex appeared above its head, the vortex was connected to the deep space, and the roar came from it. There was lightning and thunder, as if there was a terrifying existence that could come out. Shut up, Antares roared, the heavy will here can't reach your stinky fish tail. 2 golden rays of light shot out from the dragon's eyes, blasting away the vortex. When the vortex collapsed, it seemed that screams sounded from it. Antares said with disdain, you can also intervene in my affairs? Garbage must have the consciousness of garbage. Come, let's fight for another 300 rounds. It roared furiously, full of fighting spirit, and entered Lin Moyu's soul world again. The curse power of the rune of the Great World is constantly advancing, and Antares can only delay but cannot stop it. Antares knew that the limit of what he could do in 4.3 was nothing more than that. Antares went all out, and only delayed for less than 1 second. Seeing that the power of the curse was about to enter the skill space, another ray of purple light flew from the depths of the soul. It was fast, flew into Lin Moyu's soul, and hit the Great World Rune Jing without any mistakes. The Great World Rune vibrated violently and was ignited with a bang. The curse power that had already arrived in front of the skill space stopped immediately. The Great World Rune gleamed and extinguished the flames. In this way, another full second passed. A little spark is more useful than Antares' efforts. A strange breath rose from Lin Moyu's body, and an unusual light suddenly radiated from his soul. Antares was the first to feel it, and couldn't help laughing loudly. It's done, it's done. I won. It seems that the big world rune is not omnipotent. Antares' laughter shook the entire ancient battlefield. The earth is trembling, the mountains and forests are collapsing, and the ocean is setting off huge waves, rushing tens of millions of meters, as if they are about to pierce the sky. It laughs unscrupulously, almost insanely. Only Antares himself can understand himself, and he can only express his current mood with laughter. In the legend of the Dragon Clan, the big world rune represents the supremacy, the extreme danger, and the extreme power. Contact with the big world rune, Tion died, but no life. Just now, it was already ready to die. But the result is not as bad as imagined. Not only is it not dead, it's alive and well. Even in the confrontation with the runes of the big world, I still have some insights. It knows that it turns out that the Skyworld runes are not completely unstoppable. With its power, although it is not comparable to the Great World rune, it can delay a little time. Even if it is only for a second, it is considered a success. Lin Moyu's whole body was shrouded in laws, and the laws of heaven and earth poured down continuously, and the skill star core in the skill space was fully lit. When the skill is activated, the power of the curse carried by the Great World rune recedes, and it returns to dormant in the soul itself. It is invisible when it is not activated. Even if Antares used the Divine Dragon Eye to find it inch by inch, it would be impossible to find it. Only when it takes action can it discover the clues. The avatar disappears 02, and the body consciousness comes to the skill space. Looking at the increasingly powerful skill star core, the consciousness also chuckled. I won the battle, although I don't know why, but no one can stop me. Even if it is the Great World rune, I will tear you apart. Consciousness exits the skill space and returns to reality. Antares also stopped roaring at this time, and the roar just now seemed to be still reverberating in the space. Lin Moyu looked at Antares, and Antares looked at Lin Moyu. Just as Lin Moyu was about to speak, Antares had already stepped forward. Don't say thank you, this kind of nonsense is useless. Lin Moyu looked at Antares, who pretended to be affectionate. I didn't intend to say thank you. Antares snorted, then what are you going to say? Lin Moyu said, you look a bit miserable, do you want to treat it? After the fog cleared, Antares' body was exposed to Lin Moyu's sight. Antares was a little shriveled at this time, and the dragon scales on his body were drooping, like withered leaves. The power of the soul was consumed too much, and Antares looked a little sluggish. But Antares seemed a little excited, shaking his head, it's all right, it'll be fine in a few days. While speaking, the mist reappeared and once again enveloped the dragon's body, only revealing a big head. Lin Moyu said, how does it feel to fight against the big world rune? Although he didn't see the whole process, Lin Moyu could imagine that it must be dangerous at that time. Antares' eyes sparkled, it's very exciting, very cool. Lin Moyu said, don't be too excited, there will be opportunities to be happy in the future. Antares widened his eyes, you mean, it will stop you? Lin Moyu nodded, I started from level 60, and I have a faint feeling of being suppressed. The higher the level, the more obvious this feeling is, but it has never been done. It didn't really start to move until level 80 this time. Now that it has moved, it is impossible to move only once, and it will definitely appear in the future. Antares said in a deep voice, this time we are lucky, especially the last purple spark, I don't know where it came from, and it can match the big world rune. Lin Moyu said, from the talent world. Antares looked at Lin Moyu, and it instinctively realized that Lin Moyu had a big secret. Lin Moyu saw the clue from Antares' eyes, I know that I have a big secret, but I don't know what the secret is. I only had a glimpse of the talent world. When I find out, I'll tell you as soon as possible. Antares nodded, look at your new skills, how strong are the skills that even the Great World rune will block your acquisition. Not only Antares was curious, Lin Moyu was also curious. At this time, the skill star core has been fully lit. The law of heaven and earth no longer poured in, and the awakening of skills was completely completed. The picture in front of him changed, and Lin Moyu's vision was enveloped by a starry sky. In the starry sky, there are countless strong men, from all races, rushing towards them overwhelmingly. For these powerhouses, the distance of hundreds of millions of miles is equivalent to nothing, and it can be reached in the blink of an eye. Some of them are like meteors, their bodies glow, and they collide like stars. Countless skeletons were knocked into the air along the way, making it difficult to resist. It was still the necromancer in the robe. It held up the scepter, and the silver gemstones on the scepter gleamed. The light illuminated the sky, and with an astonishing roar, tens of thousands of skeleton dragons surrounded by flames flew out of the light. They fought with the strong men of various races, and the giant bone dragon was extremely powerful, and the strong men of all races were torn to pieces by the giant bone dragon. They breathed death-filled dragon breaths, and large swathes of strong men turned into skeletons, eliminated their flesh and blood, and died on the spot. The picture disappeared. Lin Moyu shuddered all over, and looked at Antares at the same time. His eyes were full of shock. Acquired skill, summon the skeleton dragon. Summon the skeleton dragon, level 80, summon a skeleton dragon. It turned out to be summoning the skeleton dragon, a new summoning skill. Just by watching the skill demonstration, you can feel the power of the skeleton dragon. There seemed to be dragons among the various races just now, and they were also killed by the skeleton dragon. Antares asked, "What's the matter? Seeing that you seem surprised, are your skills so strong?" Lin Moyu nodded. "I'll look at other skills, we'll talk about them later." Then he started to check the second skill. The picture in front of him changed again. Lin Moyu was slightly shocked. Every time a skill demonstration appeared, it meant that the skill was extremely powerful. This is true for the previous skills. However, every time a skill is awakened, only one skill will appear on the demonstration screen. Unexpectedly, the 80-level skill was like this 2 consecutive times. It was still the starry sky just now, and the battle was still going on. The starry sky is already full of corpses, including those of powerful people of various races and some of undead. At this moment, the necromancer raised his staff again. Clusters of silver-white flames appeared inexplicably in the starry sky. The silver-white flame is the flame of the undead world, without warmth, but with an astonishing breath of death. These flames fell on the bones, and then the bones came back to life one after another. Flesh and blood were reborn, returning to their former appearance in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, all the bones in the starry sky disappeared, and they became the strong men of various races again. It's just that the bodies of the strong men of all races exude a black aura, which is completely different from before. Lin Moyu sees very clearly from God's perspective that these people are not like living people. The revived strong race quickly joined the battle, but they had already turned their guns and started attacking their own people. After being resurrected by the necromancer, they became the subordinates of the necromancer and obeyed the order of the necromancer. And when they are resurrected, they are even stronger than when they were alive. There are countless strong men who died at the hands of their former comrades in arms. The picture in front of him shattered and disappeared again, but the shock in Lin Moyu's heart was hard to erase. This demonstration made him realize the horror of necromancers again. Support war with war. This is the only word to describe it. Acquired skill, Resurrection of the Dead. Resurrection of the Dead, use the corpse or soul as a medium to revive the opponent in a short period of time, making it your subordinate, and enhancing the opponent's combat power. Resurrection duration, 24 hours. Lin Moyu looked at the skill explanation, and the explanation was unpretentious. Lin Moyu saw the power of skills from the skill demonstration. The opponent's people are fighting less and less, while the people on one's own side are fighting more and more, endless. One person against one army is not a problem at all. Moreover, the revived enemy has exactly the same appearance as before, and its combat power has been enhanced. The pressure of the enemy can be imagined. It is another extremely powerful skill, no wonder the Great World Rune wants to stop him. Lin Moyu was very curious about what he did and how he provoked the Great World Rune. After all, I am just a little ant, extremely weak and inconspicuous. I don't know how much difference there is between the level of the Big World Rune and my own. Can't do it. The third skill appeared, and the screen in front of him changed again. Third demonstration. Lin Moyu roared softly, his whole body was excited, and his fists were clenched. There are demonstrations of the 3 skills, indicating that the 3 skills are all powerful skills. In fact, when the second skill was demonstrated, Lin Moyu guessed that the third skill might also be demonstrated. When it really appeared, Lin Moyu still couldn't hide the excitement in his heart. It's still that starry sky, and it's still that battle. The battle has come to an end, and the powerhouses of all ethnic groups have basically been killed. Suddenly, a group of flames leaped from afar in the starry sky. It's not galloping, it's leaping. Lai Yen exudes scorching light all over his body, and he is an extremely huge star. Every time a star jumps, it can jump a distance of hundreds of millions of miles, just like teleporting. After a few jumps, Daxing entered the battlefield. Fierce flames were ejected from the star, causing countless deaths and injuries to the undead army in an instant. The giant bone dragon also couldn't bear the flames and turned into ashes. Then, a large number of strong men flew out from above the stars. These strong people can live on the stars, which represents their strength. Lin Moyu has felt a similar breath, and recognizes that each statue is an invincible powerhouse. It is exactly the same as those invincible powerhouses seen in the primordial secret realm. Once they entered the battle group, the undead army retreated steadily, without any history of resistance. In front of them, the giant skeleton dragon is also powerless to fight back. These existences are too powerful against the sky. In a blink of an eye, hundreds of millions of undead were destroyed, and the undead army almost collapsed. The necromancer raised his scepter again, summoned countless undead again, and reorganized the legion. Then the whole body of the scepter glowed, bursting out with a different light. The light fell, and the undead army began to reorganize. Skeleton Berserker, Skeleton Marksman, and Skeleton Archmage merged with each other. After the fusion, it became a powerful skeleton that Lin Moyu had never seen before. It is wearing armor, holding a huge flaming axe in its right hand, and a shield of ice in its left hand, stepping on a whirlwind, and wearing thunder. Its breath is also very powerful. At the same time, the Skeleton King appeared in the starry sky, not the Skeleton King Lin Moyu had seen before, far stronger than the Skeleton King summoned by Lin Moyu. The Bone Dragon and the Headless Horseman combined. The horse under the Headless Horseman disappeared, and the Skeleton Dragon became a mount. The Headless Horseman transformed into a Dragon Knight. The elemental liches merged with each other to form an elemental giant. All auras are not missing. These existences all exude an invincible aura. The battle broke out again, and the necromancer scepter moved forward a little. With a buzzing sound, red light sprinkled the starry sky. Curse of aging skill, Lin Moyu thought instinctively, but he denied the idea in the next second. It's not just a curse. In the red light, the originally burning star seemed to have received a very violent impact. Its flame began to jump rapidly, and after just a few seconds, it began to go out, and finally completely lost its flame, and also lost its vitality. 10 seconds later, the star exploded, and the explosion swept across the starry sky. It's just that in a battle at the level of invincible powerhouses, star-level explosions are useless. The screen shattered and disappeared again, and the skill demonstration ended here. So far, Lin Moyu has not fully understood this skill. Acquired skill, Infinite Fusion. Infinite Fusion, fusion undead or skills to create new undead and skills. The fusion effect may be weakened or greatly increased according to the undead and skills to be fused. Matched up with the skill demonstration. The necromancer used this skill to create an undead army at the level of an invincible powerhouse, and also created a skill that could destroy stars. This skill is called Infinite Fusion, and it naturally has infinite possibilities. Lin Moyu feels that the skills in the demonstration are far from the limit, and there are more possibilities waiting to be explored and found by himself. 2 powerful attack skills, one with infinite possibilities. The ultimate skills of the 3 professions at level 80 are too powerful. No wonder the big world runes want to stop themselves. Especially the last skill has infinite possibilities. As you become stronger, this skill will become stronger and stronger. And now it's just a skill, it hasn't entered the soul yet, it has become a soul skill, become a spell. It can be further enhanced. As long as you are strong enough, even the big world runes can be stepped on. The necromancer in the skill demonstration can do that, so naturally he can too. Everyone is a necromancer, who will be worse than whom? Lin Moyu is full of pride in his heart, and he is not afraid of the challenges ahead. How's it going? Antari's voice sounded, and Lin Moyu's breath had completely calmed down at this time, and he knew that the skill had been mastered. Lin Moyu said, "I'll show you the first skill." Skill, summons the bone dragon. Lin Moyu raised his hand towards the distance, and the sky suddenly darkened. Even the colorful streamers of the sky are blocked. Antares narrowed his eyes slightly, and murmured, "Law." Lin Moyu also felt the breath of Law. The breath is very weak, but it does exist. But just a faint breath of Law is enough to prove the extraordinariness of this skill. A mass of silver-white flames appeared in the air, and there seemed to be a swirl in the flames. A dragon chant rushed out of the vortex, and a strong undead breath spread out. Antares' eyes narrowed even more, and it saw more, not only the dragon's chant, but also the dragon's breath. Immediately after the flame exploded, a skeleton dragon surrounded by flames appeared in sight. The giant bone dragon roared to the sky, and the dragon chant continued. Its body length is about 5 meters, and its whole body is surrounded by silver flames. It is similar to a giant dragon, but not as sky-high as a giant dragon. It is very different from the skeleton dragon that Lin Moyu saw during the skill demonstration. It's just a mini version. Antares frowned. "Is this a dragon?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Bone dragon, it's only level 1 now, wait for me to practice." Antares stared at the skeleton and kept looking at it. "The breath is very pure, it seems to be a member of our dragon clan, but I have never heard of such a branch in the dragon clan." Lin Moyu shrugged, saying that he didn't know either. He started to practice skills. In order to avoid future troubles, Lin Moyu will practice new skills to the full level as soon as possible. The skeleton dragon is constantly being summoned, and its level is gradually increasing. From level 1 to level 80, the amount of work is enormous. However, Lin Moyu has a comprehensive connection talent obtained, so there is no need to consider the issue of mental strength. It can be summoned non-stop, and the speed of skill upgrade is amazing. As the skill level increases, the aura of the giant skeleton dragon becomes larger and larger, and its shape becomes larger and larger. Lin Moyu felt that this might be the last time he practiced skills. The other 2 skills have no grades, and do not need to be practiced. 2 days later, I finally got my skills to level 80. Until then, Lin Moyu began to check the attributes of the skeleton dragon. Bone dragon. Level, 80. Power, 1800000. 1800000. 1800000. Physical, 1800000. Skill, Dragon Breath of Death, Level 1. Dragon Breath of Death, Level 1. Breathe out dragon breath full of death, causing rot damage to the target. The attributes are very powerful, and after the talent bonus, it surpasses the ratio of world-class bosses of the same level. Maybe the vitality is not as good as the world-class boss, but the shape of the skeleton dragon is not much worse. Antares said in a deep voice, "Try attacking me." New skills naturally require experimentation. Lin Moyu likes experiments, and under the influence of Lin Moyu, Antares is also full of interest in experiments. It does not hesitate to condescend, to act as an experimental product by itself. Lin Moyu wouldn't be ashamed if it didn't speak up by itself. Now, naturally the best. The experiment is divided into 2 steps. In the first step, the giant bone dragon breathed out the dragon's breath at Antares. Dragon breath is the most commonly used and practical attack skill of the dragon family. The dragon's breath will cover an area and carry out group killing indiscriminately. The breath of death emitted by the giant skeleton dragon covered an area around 20 meters in radius, like a gray mist that lingered for a long time. Antares felt the breath of the death dragon, and attacks at this level naturally couldn't hurt Antares. Dragon's breath carries 2 powers of flame and corrosion, and the power is not weak. I feel a hint of law, and a tiny bit of law is integrated into it, which enhances the power of the skill. In terms of attack power alone, it's around level 88, close to god level, but not yet. But it's also because of the little bit of law. Once you are hurt by the dragon's breath, you may be hurt for a while. Antares' analysis is naturally not wrong. Lin Moyu summoned the Lich General, and let the Lich General bless the skeleton dragon. 150 Legion Enhancement, Level 8 all attributes increased by 80%, attack speed increased by 80%, spell casting speed increased by 80%, physical defense increased by 80%, elemental defense increased by 80%, and control resistance increased by 80%. Try again. With the state, the attributes of the skeleton dragon have been greatly improved, but because of Lin Moyu's restrictions, its total attributes are limited to 9.99 million, which fails to break through the tens of millions level. The first attribute is all more than 2.49 million, that is, less than 250 square meters. The balance of the four attributes is still maintained. The skeleton dragon breathed out the dragon's breath again. Anteri said after feeling it, the power has increased, but not very much. It's very close to the god level, but compared to the real god level, it's still a little bit worse. Lin Moyu nodded, this is the restriction of the law of heaven and earth, he can't change it. Unless the skill of summoning the skeleton dragon can be transformed into a soul skill, then maybe it can break away from the restrictions of the law of heaven and earth. But Lin Moyu is not in a hurry. As his level increases, his skills will naturally become stronger and stronger. It will be a matter of time before it can be turned into a soul skill or a spell. The first skill has been tested very simply, and Lin Moyu's combat power against the skeleton dragon has also been confirmed. Then start, act, to test the second skill. Lin Moyu said, get a corpse here. This couldn't be easier for Antares. The mist rolled, and a few seconds later, several corpses fell from the sky and landed in front of Lin Moyu. They were all fresh corpses, killed by Antares and carried over. There are a few that come from the upper space and are not powerful. 2 of them are from the lower space. Judging from the aura, they should exceed level 70. There is another one that also comes from the lower space, it is huge, it is an ordinary boss, over level 80. Antares is very thoughtful and takes one step to the right. Lin Moyu's soul locks on these corpses and casts the second skill. Ability, Resurrection of the Dead. A group of silver-white immortal flames appeared in front of Lin Moyu, and then exploded with a bang. The flames fell on the corpse and burned blazingly. Antares had a strange look in his eyes, this skill burns corpses? Just 2 seconds later, with a soft sound, several corpses got up at the same time. It's a scam. Antares couldn't help shrinking his head back, and the atmosphere became a little weird. Back from the dead, even Antares has never seen it. To die is to die, and there is no one who can live again after death. Surrounded by flames, the original corpse stood up slowly, shaking constantly. They opened their eyes, looking around, as if they had really come back to life. After watching for a few seconds, Antares realized something was wrong. The state of these revived corpses is not right, and the breath has been greatly improved, much stronger than before, especially that ordinary little boss exudes an aura comparable to that of a lord-level boss. What kind of skill is this? Antares asked. Lin Moyu explained, the name of the skill is Resurrection of the Dead. He and Antareson explained in detail, and Antares murmured, there is such a skill. Is there any requirement for this skill on the death time of the corpse? Like the corpse burst before, it needs a fresh corpse to exert its corresponding power before it can be transformed into a soul skill. Lin Moyu shook his head, not sure. Wait a minute, Antares raised the dragon's head, as if looking for something. Lin Moyu saw the mist rolling continuously, as if a huge dragon claw protruded from the mist. After a full half a minute, Antares threw out a white bone from the mist. This bone is extremely complete, and even its posture remains the same as it was before death. It should be that it has not been moved after death. There are many golden light spots on the bone, and a powerful aura can be felt. The owner of this bone must have been very powerful during his lifetime. Lin Moyu looked at the skeleton. Is this a desolate beast? Antares hummed, the skeleton of a king of wild beasts. Its soul was wiped out at that time, but its body was not harmed, and it was well preserved. After more than 1,000 years, the white bones still haven't decayed, which shows how powerful it was back then. The King of Desolate Beasts is an existence comparable to high-level god-level professionals, and its own strength is at least level 96. Lin Moyu once again used the Resurrection of the Dead skill. A ball of flame landed on the skeleton of the King of Wild Beasts, burning blazingly. Anteri stared at the bones. It wanted to see what would happen to the bones thousands of years ago under Lin Moyu's skills. Next, it saw an amazing scene. Under the silver-white undead flame, the flesh and blood began to regenerate. This is a very incredible thing. The bones that have been dead for thousands of years have come back to life. Even Antares couldn't understand it. Lin Moyu's skills have refreshed his three views, allowing him to re-understand the world. The mystery of this world far exceeds its imagination. Antares, who claims to be omniscient, suddenly discovered that there are many things in this world that he does not understand. In the blink of an eye, the King of Desolate Beasts was reborn with flesh and blood, and jumped up from the ground. The King of Wild Beasts exudes an amazing aura, and his body is entwined with laws. Not only has he been resurrected, but he is even stronger than before. It is not only enhanced by skills, because it becomes Lin Moyu's summoning object, but also by Lin Moyu's talents. Moreover, its resurrected combat power is completely unaffected by Lin Moyu's own level. Antares judged that the resurrected King of Wild Beasts has a combat power of about 98, which is close to a half-step super god. It is now Lin Moyu's summoning object, and Lin Moyu can command it at will. Lin Moyu revoked his skills after some tests. All the revived corpses disappeared without a trace along with a gust of wind. The real ashes. Pervert. No wonder the big world rune wants to stop you, your skills are too heaven-defying. Antares screamed strangely, as long as Lin Moyu's skills are thought about, you can understand how against the sky. If Lin Moyu is given a super god-level corpse, Lin Moyu can walk sideways in this world. Even if it only lasts for 24 hours, that's enough. For super god-level powerhouses, many things can be done in 24 hours. Killing the Dragon Emperor and exterminating the Demon Emperor seemed to be a matter of course. Difficult to find a dead body? Antares said not at all, there are corpses in deep space. Antares murmured, with this skill, you are guaranteed to go to the deep space. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, it's still early, I'm only level 80. Believe in that time I'll be stronger. After ordinary skills are transformed into soul skills, the skills can be further enhanced. Lin Moyu has no doubts about his own strength. Antares shook his head, shaking off his shock, come on, let's see your third skill. Lin Moyu said, the third skill, I think is the most amazing skill. It's not an attack skill, but it's more important than the first two skills. If you can only choose one of the three skills, I will choose to keep the third skill. Great World Rune estimates that this attack is also to prevent this skill. Antares was aroused, oh? What kind of skill is that? Infinite Fusion. Lin Moyu said in a deep voice, this skill is called Infinite Fusion. He explained the function of the skill, and Antares was a little surprised. Try, said Antares. Lin Moyu nodded, following the method in the skill demonstration. He summoned the Skeleton Berserker, Skeleton Archmage, and Skeleton Marksman. The quantity is not much, 100 of each kind, then cast the skill, Infinite Fusion. 3 kinds of skeletons are fused to form a new summoning object. A skeleton with a sword in his right hand and a shield in his left hand appeared in front of Lin Moyu. It was wearing armor and was about 5 meters tall, taller and mightier than any previous skeleton. Purely from the appearance point of view, it is too different from the skeleton in the skill demonstration. But Lin Moyu didn't know, it was because his level was too low, and there were too few skeletons for fusion. In fact, the fused skeleton in front of me is already very powerful, and the aura it exudes far exceeds level 80, and should reach around level 85. 300 level 80 skeletons form a level 85 skeleton, and Lin Moyu doesn't know whether he is making money or losing money. Skeleton General. Level 85. Power 22000000. Agility 22000000. C 22000000. Physique, 220000. Skill, Destruction Strike. Destroyer Strike, explodes 10 times the lethality of its own power, and the cooling time is 1 minute. Skill, Soul Bombing. Soul Explosion, bomb the target's soul, cooldown time is 1 minute. The Skeleton God will have two skills, which are the product of fusion, resulting in some incredible changes, which are somewhat different from the Skeleton King. Skeleton King is a separate skill with its own characteristics. Infinite Fusion can make various changes. For example, Lin Moyu can abandon the Skeleton Marksman and fuse the Skeleton Berserker and Skeleton Archmage separately. If the quantity remains the same, the attributes may not change, but the skills will definitely change. Various fusions will produce different results. The Skeleton God will be blessed by General Lich's skills, but he still can't break through to level 90. The 9.99 million attribute still limits it. Now only the Soul skill can break through the limit of level 90, otherwise Lin Moyu has to wait for Lin Moyu to reach level 90. Then Lin Moyu started various combinations, using skeletons and Headless Horsemen. Make a combo with the Headless Horseman and the Bone Dragon. Make a combo with Bone Dragon and Skeleton Archmage. The results were strong and weak, and some results made Lin Moyu dumbfounded, especially the combination of a Skeleton Dragon and a Skeleton Mage. The result is a Skeleton Mage with a dragon head. The attributes are also pitifully low, not even as good as a level 70 Skeleton Archmage. Infinite Fusion, good or bad, really can't tell. Lin Moyu has been told several best combinations in the skill demonstration, so Lin Moyu needs to explore by himself. Skeleton Generals and Dragon Knights are very easy to use. But Lin Moyu's most eye-catching is the skill that can destroy stars. That touch of red light was amazing. Red light should be the curse of aging, but what kind of skills are integrated in it? There is no answer, just keep trying. According to my own vision, the curse of aging is the main one, and the poisonous starburst is first integrated into it. Lin Moyu pointed towards the sky, and with a buzzing sound, the skill was released. There is a touch of green in the red light. However, the skills emitted by the skills are very weak, and the damage is obviously insufficient. Antares shook his head. What the hell is this, such rubbish? Lin Moyu didn't give up, he merged the bone spear again. This time I can't even release my skills. Lin Moyu's finger shot out a puff of smoke and sparks, which shot out only half a meter away, and then there was nothing. Antares couldn't help laughing out loud, his whole head fell to the ground, he was out of breath from laughing. Hey, do you want to be so funny? Lin Moyu was also surprised, not expecting such a result. There should be nothing wrong with taking the curse of aging as the main body, and Lin Moyu has also integrated the soul flame into it. Amid Antares' laughter, Lin Moyu pointed towards it. With a buzzing sound, red light filled the air, and Antares' laughter stopped abruptly. Its soul received a shock, although it was not painful, but it was shocking enough. Antares said in a muffled voice, "This is a bit interesting, it can almost instantly kill all professionals below level 83. Instantly killing existences below level 80 is not what Lin Moyu wants. Lin Moyu has great ambitions, but this is not enough." The experiment started again, and Lin Moyu fused each skill with the curse of aging. After some experiments, the results were not ideal. It seems that it is not a combination of two skills, but a combination of multiple skills. Lin Moyu thought of a possibility. But combining multiple skills with each other, even if it is just adding one skill, requires numerous experiments. But there is no way, only try again and again. Lin Moyu began to experiment endlessly and gradually fell into a state of madness. Lin Moyu is cruel to himself, only he knows it. Antares looked at Lin Moyu boredly, watching him experiment and fail again and again. What a madman. In the end, Antares came to such a conclusion. Then he smiled again. I'm crazy too. Only two lunatics will fight against the Great World Rune. Obviously that is the most original power in the Great World. In front of the runes of the Great World, it and Lin Moyu are just two ants. But these two ants not only fought, but also won by luck. Antares felt that this matter was enough for him to brag about for 10,000 years. If one day I can really step on the big world rune under my feet. Antares began to dream, whimsical. A red light lit up. Antares, who was sleeping soundly, was awakened, and it suddenly exclaimed, "How can there be a law of time? The empty light in the sky has not completely disappeared." Lin Moyu felt the breath of law, but unlike Antares, he couldn't tell which law it was. Antares was awakened, with horror in its eyes, looking at the sky. Law of time. The 4 words are very dignified. Antares felt the law of time from the red light. Lin Moyu looked at Antares, "Is there any problem?" Antares didn't answer him, "You do it again." "It is still a little uncertain, how can the law of time appear?" Lin Moyu raised his hand a little toward the air, and the red light lit up. This time, Antares was sure that he was not mistaken, it was indeed the law of time. "Towards me, come on. With all your strength." Antares whispered. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu used his skills towards Antares. He knew that with his own ability, it was impossible to hurt Antares, so he didn't need to worry about 220. A red light shone on Antares' body. Antares shook his head, his eyes shrank suddenly, revealing a dangerous light. Then it let out a dragon cry, shaking the world. When a dragon scale fell off its body and fell to the ground, Antares looked at the fallen dragon scale and murmured, "Very good." Lin Moyu saw that the dragon scales were different, and there seemed to be some cracks. He is not level enough to understand. Lin Moyu asked, "What's going on?" Antares explained, "Your skills are mixed with a trace of the law of time, a very faint trace. Guide all your attacks into this dragon scale, and the dragon scale is affected and becomes rotten." Although Lin Moyu doesn't know the law of time very well, he can know that the power of the skill must be very strong if it can affect Antares. "How powerful is it?" Antares said, "Very good, basically it can instantly kill all professionals below the god level. Even a god-level professional can severely damage them. Your law of time has a decaying characteristic, and decades pass almost instantly. I'm curious how you did it." Lin Moyu said, "I combined several skills. The main skill is Curse of Aging, which combines Soul Flame and Poisonous Starburst. Lin Moyu's experiment of fusion skills has lasted for 7 full days and nights. He tried various combinations. It turns out that it is much more than imagined. Not only different combinations of skills will have an impact on the fused skills. Even the strength of skills will have an impact. The same 2 or 3 skills, each skill has a different proportion, and the final effect is completely different. Lin Moyu feels that he has become an alchemist of skills, and skills are potions. 1 more point is not enough, 1 point less is not enough, 1 more and 1 less is even worse. At the same time, Lin Moyu also found some situations. He can only fuse 3 skills at most. Once there are more than 3, the entire fusion skills will collapse. Lin Moyu guessed that this limitation should be related to his level. It is also related to the infinite fusion skill itself. After all, it is still an ordinary skill, and it has not yet entered the soul and become a soul skill. In addition to this, there is a limitation. Ordinary skills cannot be combined with soul skills. Once fused, the skills will inevitably collapse. Lin Moyu tried it, but the soul skills couldn't be fused. The reason was infinite fusion skills themselves. It's just an ordinary skill right now. In other words, it itself is too weak to manipulate more powerful soul skills. After 7 days and 1 night of countless experiments, Lin Moyu finally came up with such a skill. A skill formed by the fusion of Curse of Aging, Soul Flame, and Toxic Starburst. The effect is not bad, but it is far from the skill of obliterating stars. Lin Moyu originally wanted to incorporate the Corpse Burst into it, but his skills did not allow it, so he had to give up. But he felt that it was unsatisfactory, and in the eyes of Antares, he was already astonished. The reason is the law of time brought by skills. An insignificant ray of time law can cause terrifying effects. The power of the skill is greatly increased, enough to instantly kill non-god level professionals and severely damage low-level god level professionals. At the request of Antares, Lin Moyu used his skills again several times. Each time, one of the dragon scales of Antares can be traumatized. But Antares enjoyed the process very much. After trying 10 times in a row, Lin Moyu finally asked, "Are you okay? No one is looking for a taxi all the time and even enjoys it." Antares behaved very strangely. Antares shook his head, "No problem, I'm feeling the law of time." Lin Moyu asked, strangely, "Do you value power at this level?" It's not the same. Antares shook his head, "Although the attack power is low, but the level is high, it's the law of time, you don't know how many people dream of it. Believe it or not, if you go to the big world and tell others that you can have the time law 0 that is less than a god-level attack, it is guaranteed that countless top experts will come to you, arrest you, and let you use this skill every day. Don't worry, even if you don't want to, they still have ways to make you do what they say." Antares' words made Lin Moyu feel terrified, as if he would be treated as a slave. Lin Moyu frowned, "Didn't you say that those top powerhouses are all after big world runes?" Antares smiled, "Pursuing the big world rune is something only a few top experts can do, such as the old man you once met. Most of the top powerhouses will retreat to the front line and pursue the second-class mirage." Lin Moyu was startled, "You mean the law of time?" Antares nodded, "It's okay to talk to you, anyway, you have already been exposed to the law. There are tens of thousands of laws, but there are also strengths and weaknesses among them. The law of time belongs to the top first echelon among many laws. The law of lightning, that you are most proficient at present, belongs to the law of elements and belongs to the third echelon." Lin Moyu was surprised, "So weak?" Antares hummed, "Almost. The law of time is firmly in the first echelon, do you think it is strong?" Lin Moyu thought of another law that he had come into contact with but did not master. "What about the law of life?" Antares said, "What kind of law of life is that? You haven't even touched the fur of the law of life. At most, you have some breath of the law of life, which is nothing more than a superficial thing." 3.9 Lin Moyu also understands, "Then what are the rules in each echelon?" Antares shook his head, "There are too many laws, and I can't count them all, but I can give you an overview. The first echelon has the least number of laws. The more famous ones are the 2 laws of time and space, and then the 2 laws of destruction and creation. The law of killing and life is more famous in the second echelon. The third echelon is some elemental laws, including wind, fire, electricity, and light. Every time the law is different by 1 level, the gap will be bigger. For a truly top-notch existence, it is true that the pursuit is the Great World Rune. But there is no such easy pursuit of the Great World Rune. It is slightly worse to pursue the laws in the first echelon. Now you understand." Lin Moyu is not stupid, how can he not understand? Lin Moyu said slowly, "It seems that the more powerful the law, the more empty it is." Lin Moyu hit the nail on the head and went straight to the core. The weaker the law, the more specific it is. Things like wind, water, and fire can be felt in reality, and they are the easiest to perceive. But light and darkness are relatively ethereal, and the difficulty of perception will also increase. Also in the third echelon, the laws of light and darkness are a little stronger. In the third echelon, in addition to some elemental laws that are visible to the naked eye, there are also some laws that are invisible to the naked eye. For example, the laws of dreams and deep sleep. Then the law that rose to the second echelon is completely invisible and intangible, and can only be comprehended on the sidelines. As for the first echelon, this is even more so, and the difficulty is even higher. Lin Moyu said, "My teacher, it seems that what he understands is the law of killing." Antares said, "It's the little guy who wields the knife. He is passionate about the law of murderous aura. If he can go further in the future, he can be promoted to the law of killing." The law can still be promoted? Lin Moyu felt a little strange, how could the law still be promoted? Like the law of lightning that he has been exposed to the most so far, what can he be promoted to? Antares said, "For example, your teacher, his current murderous law, will have the opportunity to be promoted to the killing law in the future. There is also one who uses 02 fists. What he comprehends is the law of great strength. In the future, he will have the opportunity to be promoted to the law of strength. There is also one who uses formations. He has two promotion directions, namely physical formations and formations. Lin Moyu immediately asked, what about the rules of the element class? Elemental laws can also be promoted, such as the fire elemental law, which has the opportunity to become a star fire, an eternal fire, and an inextinguishable fire. You are good at the law of thunder and lightning, and you also have the opportunity to be promoted to starburst thunder, 9-turn purple thunder, sky-destructing thunder, etc. But let me give you a suggestion. If you have a chance, you should concentrate on understanding the law of time. In front of the law of time, these messy laws are all rubbish. How can the law of time be so comprehensible? Just look at the appearance of Antares. Even if you can comprehend things that it can't comprehend, it will take a lot of time. So before that, I always need to have a skill at my side. How many kinds of laws can be understood? Lin Moyu asked. Antares chuckled, you can comprehend as many kinds as you want, but the more laws of emotion, the more difficult it will be. Generally, they specialize in 1 or 2 types. Otherwise, they can understand a little bit in the East and a little in the West. In the end, they only scratched the surface. Time is wasted, life energy is exhausted, and everything is empty. Antares is like an elder, teaching Lin Moyu sincerely. Lin Moyu kept its words in mind. Do you still want to continue to realize the law of time? I can continue. Antares shook his head, no need, the law of time is too weak for you now, and you can't express anything. When your law of time is strong enough in the future, I can feel it, and this is not a matter of a day or two. It may not be enough for a few years or decades. You can't afford to waste this time now. Lin Moyu really can't afford to waste time now. It's nothing to waste 10 days and half a month. If you waste more than 10 years, it is really not something you can bear. Lin Moyu was not polite. In the future, when I am free, the law will be stronger, so that you can understand it well. Antares snorted, okay, you can get out now, where do you want to go? I'll take you there. Lin Moyu thought for a while, and his eyes shot out with a strong killing intent. Can you send me to the Dragon Clan? Antares asked strangely, didn't you reach an agreement with Lillian? Just leave the matter of the Dragon Clan to it. Why don't you plan to cooperate with her? Lin Moyu shook his head, the cooperation will continue, but I have my own ideas. There are some things that cannot be left to others. I will do part, Lillian will do part, and the other part will be done by the human race. The vigor of the human race cannot disappear because of this, and the hatred cannot end because of a cooperation of mine. To end the hatred, the race must be done by itself, even if it costs blood, even if there is sacrifice. I can contribute, but not for them. The hatred of the human race has accumulated for so many years, and it should be ended by them in the end. There is a dream in our hearts, that is to enter the abyss world and destroy the abyss demons with our own hands. Lin Moyu said a lot, all from his heart. Antares thought for a long time, saying that he didn't quite understand. Its thinking is very simple, not so complicated. But if it is like what Lin Moyu said. Antares said, have you ever thought about it? If you choose, the human race may have to pay a lot of casualties. Lin Moyu nodded, I know, but there are some things that must be ended by ourselves. Lin Moyu said it firmly, and Antares didn't say any more. Although it is still incomprehensible, it unconditionally supports Lin Moyu's approach. Who made them friends? Lin Moyu has his own considerations. The hatred between the human race and the abyssal demon has accumulated too deep. If one day the human race is suddenly told that there is a battle between the abyssal demon and the dragon race, both sides will be wounded. It is not a good thing for the entire race that the human race lost its target all of a sudden. If the sharpness is exhausted but the knife is blunt, the human race may lose its sharpness completely. Lin Moyu doesn't want to do this. He wants the human race to keep the sharpness of the past, move forward bravely, and move towards a wider sky. After he knew so much information, he knew very well that the abyssal demons and dragons were nothing at all. This is just a fragmented world, insignificant cannon fodder. Perhaps in the future, the human race will have to face more powerful and terrifying opponents, and they must not lose their sharpness. This decision was not made by Lin Moyu alone, but after discussions with Mang Anwen and others. Mang Anwen and Lin Moyu have the same opinion: the human race is not afraid of bloodshed. A lot of blood has been shed for thousands of years, and they are not afraid of it again, but the human race cannot lose its sharpness. There are many differences between the dragon world and the human world. The sky here is a dark red, and the air is filled with a strong element of fire, accompanied by the smell of sulfur. Lin Moyu has seen the description of the dragon world from the only information available. The world of Dragon Clan is divided by elements, and each element occupies an exclusive area. And in the center of the dragon world is where the Dragon Emperor Palace is located. Now I am in the area of the fire element, and the dragons born here are basically good at the fire element. Lin Moyu did not act directly after entering the Dragon Clan, but began to replenish the undead army and the skeleton dragon. Since mastering the skill of summoning the skeleton dragon, the property has added a characteristic of the dragon's lair. The function of the dragon's lair is exactly the same as that of the summoning space and the lich space. It is a place to accommodate the skeleton dragon. The current number of dragon lairs is 1,000, which means that Lin Moyu can summon 1,000 bone dragons. The skeleton dragon, like the skeleton, can enjoy the skill bonus of the lich general, and has a combat power that is infinitely close to the god level. It can be said that Lin Moyu is currently the most sleepy summoner, besides Skeleton King. After reaching level 80, not only his own attributes have been greatly improved, but also various skills have been comprehensively improved. The overall increased talent has reached level 9, achieving a 90-fold increase for most of the skills. The undead legions have also become stronger, and Terry sent Lin Moyu into the dragon realm silently. In this piece of fragmented world, according to the convergence of elements, it is divided into several areas. The area where Lin Moyu is located is filled with fire elements. Dragons born here are naturally very close to the fire element. Lin Moyu stands on the edge of a volcano, where lava flows and the temperature is extremely high. The appearance of Lin Moyu did not attract the attention of any dragon clan. Even the fragmented world has a vast land. Lin Moyu didn't act either. He started to summon the undead. Skeletons were added one after another, and the silvery white flames exploded in gusts of wind, covering the originally red lava world. Accompanied by the sound of the dragon's roar, a giant skeleton dragon flew out of the silvery white flames. At level 80, the summoning space is greatly increased, and can accommodate 4,400 undead. Lin Moyu can summon 60 lich generals, and each lich general can control 4,400 undead. The total number of undead legions reached 264,000. Lin Moyu is evenly distributed. The three types of skeleton arms, plus the headless horseman, are 66,000 respectively. In addition to the data increase, the attributes of the skeleton and the headless horseman have also been greatly improved. Among them are the improvement of basic attributes, as well as the promotion of talents. The combat power of each skeleton has become much stronger, coupled with the substantial increase in number. The undead army has become stronger by at least 30% as a whole. If the newly added skeleton dragon is included, the combat power will increase by more than 100%. While calling, Lin Moyu was thinking about the Big World Rune. The Big World Rune suppressed his own strength, suppressed his profession, and suppressed his skills. That's why the attributes of the skeletons are so low. If there is no such talent as comprehensive increase, he can only rely on the advantage in numbers to outperform other professionals of the same level. It is impossible to complete the leapfrog challenge. Your own growth process will be completely different. If one day, I get rid of the curse of the Big World Rune, I don't know how strong it will be. Curse suppression should be all round. Maybe I am also restricted in other aspects. Recalling the skill demonstration, the army of undead that filled the galaxy, the dragon knights and skeleton generals that could fight against the invincible. Lin Moyu feels that that is what his career should look like. But then he thought of the old man riding a green bull, and the invincible strong man was wiped out with a wave of his hand, depicting a picture of tranquility. The picture without the slightest smell of fireworks seems to be another realm. Lin Moyu calmed down his excitement. He still has a long way to go in the future. In the red-hot flame world, silver and white colors appear from time to time. The temperature of the magma can't hide the chill of the wind. Large expanses of flowing magma began to solidify and become lava. The sky became even darker, with dark clouds covering the top, and the range was constantly expanding. In just half a day, an area with a radius of tens of kilometers has been covered. The strange change finally caught the attention of the dragon people. Some dragon people came to check. When approaching the dark cloud, the dragon people heard the sound of dragon chant coming from inside. The sound of the dragon's chant is very familiar to the dragon people. Moreover, the dragon's roar coming from the dark clouds seems to be more noble than themselves. The blood was throbbing, as if a low-level race met a high-level race. The dragon people began to get excited. Is it the ancestors? Is it a treasure brought by the ancestors? Or is it that the sleeping ancestors have awakened? This news spread 10 and hundreds, and quickly spread among the dragon clan. Some dragon people couldn't help their curiosity and got into the dark clouds. As the news spread, more and more dragon people gathered. They huddled in mid-air, flapping their wings and making a beating sound. None of the dragon people who entered the dark cloud before came out. Dark clouds are full of mystery. The sound of dragon chants coming out of the dark clouds became more and more intense, as if there were countless giant dragons flying inside. Finally, the Dragon King came. A Dragon King came in front of Wu Yun, frowning tightly. It's such a strong breath of death. The Dragon King's vision is extremely vicious, far from being comparable to ordinary dragon people. It was obvious at a glance that this dark cloud was made up of a terrifying breath of death. It has never seen such an astonishing death breath, and it is impossible for ordinary creatures to survive in this situation. The breath of death is so strong that it is surprisingly corrosive. It soon heard that none of the dragon people who entered the dark cloud before came out. It hesitated, not knowing whether to go in or not. The breath of death is too strong, very dangerous. In the center of the dark cloud, Lin Moyu saw the situation outside through the breath of death. After more than half a day, the undead army was finally replenished. The dragon people who came in earlier had already turned into dry bones under the dragon's breath of the skeleton dragon. Almost, it's time to do it. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and a ball of silvery white flame rose from his hand. The flame exploded and landed on the dragon clansman who had just been killed. Ability, Resurrection of the Dead. These dragon people have been burned into bones by the dragon's breath of the skeleton dragon. Now, in the flames of the resurrection of the dead, they are reborn with flesh and blood, resurrected again, and come back to the world. To be dead is to be dead, and what is resurrected is only the appearance, only the strength, and the more powerful area of the wrist. Lin Moyu's heart moved. Let you try cannibalism first. There was a trace of cruelty in the words. Following Lin Moyu's will, these revived dragon people rushed outward like crazy. The dark clouds rolled and set off waves, which immediately attracted the attention of the dragon people outside. Then they saw a group of dragon people rushing out of the dark clouds, all of whom had gone in earlier. They're all right. The Dragon King shrank his eyes, subconsciously feeling something was wrong. These returned dragons were also filled with thick death energy, and their skin and dragon scales were all wrapped in death energy, turning grayish-white. A sense of danger arises spontaneously. Back! It roared, but it was too late. After the resurrection of the dead, these dragon people became much stronger, especially the overall increased talent also had an effect on them. Their combat power has at least doubled dozens of times. They rushed into the group of dragons at an astonishing speed, and started the massacre. It's a real massacre. Dragons of the same level are not their opponents at all. In an instant, hundreds of dragons fell. Stop! The Dragon King shot in anger. At this time, the dark clouds turned again, and a Skeleton King appeared in midair. The Skeleton King exudes an amazing aura, and its combat power depends on Lin Moyu's soul level, okay, up to level 93. The Dragon King felt that he was locked, and it saw the Skeleton King raised his long sword with his own eyes. The sense of danger rose to the extreme. Escape. We'll die. The Dragon King turned around and fled without even thinking, but it was too late. The Skeleton King swung his sword down, and the Dragon King fell from the sky with a scream. The body was almost cut in two. Immediately afterwards, the elements on his body exploded, and the terrifying element explosion submerged it. In the brilliant explosion of elements, it saw countless skeleton dragons flying out of the dark clouds surrounded by silver-white flames. After the dragon, there is also a huge and amazing undead army. Lin Moyu. It's Lin Moyu, he came in. It finally knew who the enemy was, but it was too late. Kill the Dragon King, experience, +***. General Star, +1, support. When Lin Moyu received the news, it had closed its eyes forever. Note, I put the 80-level attribute skills of the protagonist and summoned objects in the related works, and you can check them yourself. The skeleton dragon is in front, and the headless horseman is behind, bursting out from the dark clouds. The dragon's breath of the skeleton dragon spits out, and the dragon people will be burned to dry bones in the blink of an eye if they are sprayed by the dragon's breath. The dragon breath of the skeleton dragon still has the power of corruption. The flames from the undead world burn the body and corrode the soul, which is extremely terrifying. Even if it sticks a little, it's hard to get rid of. Those who are very lucky will also be hit hard. The giant dragon from the undead world showed its strength at this moment. 1,000 skeleton dragons slaughtered, and the battle showed signs of overwhelming from the very beginning. The dragon people fell from the air like rain, and were burned to charred bones amidst the screams. In the blink of an eye, the dragon people who were focused outside the dark clouds escaped and died. Thousands of corpses were left behind, scattered without a trace. Those dragon people who survived brought the news to the whole dragon clan with fear. Undead monsters invaded, needless to say, everyone knew who came to 137. The dark clouds gradually dissipated, and Lin Moyu flew out. The skills are swayed, throwing a large ball of fire. The resurrection skill of the dead was cast over and over again, blasting out flames all over the sky. The dragon people who died before were resurrected collectively and became a member of the undead army. They are not under the command of the Lich General, they are under the direct orders of Lin Moyu. These resurrected people, who only survived for 24 hours, are real, cannon fodder. Lin Moyu came to the Dragon Clan this time and brought destruction. This scene is very similar to when the Dragon Clan first came to this world. At that time, the battle between the human race and the gods had just ended, and the loss was screaming. Dragons and demons also brought destruction and disaster at that time. At that time, if the dragons and the demons had not come at the same time, the two sides had conflicts, and the human race would have been wiped out long ago. Even with Antares, the human race can keep the fire, but it will be devastated. Now, Lin Moyu is alone, doing the same thing. He brought destruction and disaster to this fragmented world. Intruders, sooner or later have to pay the price. You are like parasites, attached to the world, swallowing the flesh and blood of the world. After so many years, it's time to pay it back, and it's time to add interest. Lin Moyu murmured, and wherever he went, the dragon people came back from the dead and became Lin Moyu's most loyal thugs. They become more powerful and ruthless. They will aim their butcher knives at their own race and slash them down mercilessly. Lin Moyu wants to give the Dragon Clan a taste of cannibalism. Facing the enemy, Lin Moyu is ruthless. Lin Moyu has been dealing with undead creatures for the past 2 years, and Lin Moyu has a very thorough view of life and death. Birth is normal, and death is also normal. Even being dead doesn't necessarily mean death. Isn't the skill of raising the dead just to resurrect the dead? As for whether it is still the original self after resurrection, is it still important? At least to Lin Moyu, it doesn't matter at all. They have become their own tools. tools for slaughtering dragons, and tools for upgrading. At this moment, Lin Moyu turned into a god of death and wandered around the world. Wherever he went, the Red Land was barren, and the dead were resurrected. The map of the dragon clan, Lin Moyu, does not know. However, the direction in which the dragon tribe fled has become Lin Moyu's best guidepost. Lin Moyu galloped along the direction of their escape, and soon saw a huge city. The body shape of the dragon people is generally much higher than that of the human race. The height of more than 3 meters is very common among the dragon people, and there are not a few people with a height of 4 meters and 5 meters. Correspondingly, their cities are also much larger than human cities. They built tens of meters of high walls around the city, and huge magic crystals were placed on the walls. The city is on alert, and the alarm bells are ringing. The formation unfolded and surrounded the entire city. Formation allowed to leave but not to enter, this is the usual trick of the dragon clan. Lin Moyu has already seen it on the dragon warship. Obviously the defense in the city is much stronger than the warship. Not only is the defense stronger than a warship, but the attack system is also much stronger than a warship. After all, the size of the warship is placed there, and the clue can be seen just by looking at the huge magic crystal on the city. Lin Moyu led the team to stop 10,000 meters away from the city, and he communicated with Antares, "I want Yongqing." Antares' voice sounded sleepy, "Tu bai, you don't need to report to me." Lin Moyu said, "Although they are mixed-blooded dragons, they are still dragons, and they have dragon blood, don't you mind?" Antares laughed, "That guy's men, IYSHU could kill all these mixed-blood dragons, kill them quickly, and don't give me face." "No." Lin Moyu's last trace of worry disappeared. At his order, the undead army launched a fierce attack on the dragon city. The dragon city also launched a fierce counterattack at the same time. Coming to the forefront is the resurrected dragon risen by a risen dead. They carried the breath of death, and launched the most violent offensive towards their own race. The sky turned cloudy and foggy, and each skeleton dragon swooped down, spraying dragon breath towards the city D. The dragon's breath fell on the barrier of the formation, burning a fierce undead flame. Almost in an instant, the city was turned into a silver-white fireball. Under the cover of the undead flame full of corrosive power, the dragon's defense formation is crumbling. The moment the war broke out, it entered a white-hot stage. The dragon clan city was very violent, and thousands of resurrected people suffered heavy casualties in an instant. But Lin Moyu didn't feel bad at all. These guys were originally cannon fodder. He knew that as the battle progressed, the resurrected team would become larger and larger. Dragons will soon experience what fear is. Among the cannon fodder formed by the resurrected, one of them was extremely powerful. It resisted the attack from the city, and launched a violent bombardment-like attack on the formation of the city. It was the previous Dragon King, who also became a resurrected person after being killed. It seems that the absence of the dragon crystal will have a great impact on the strength of the Dragon King. After its death, the dragon glass was taken away, and then resurrected by the resurrection of the dead. After strengthening and talent bonuses, its strength has not been further improved. Dragon crystal weakened its combat power, but various bonuses enhanced its combat power. Once back and forth, it was a tie, and its strength was not much different from before it was alive. Lin Moyu is holding the scepter of creation in his right hand, and sending the dragon crystal to the scepter of creation with his left hand. The life core absorbs the energy of the dragon crystal and begins to repair itself. This time, the core of life should be repaired. Lin Moyu thought in his heart that once the core of life was repaired, there might be a chance to revive the god of life. Even if it doesn't work, 1.1 can also rely on the complete creation scepter to give birth to a new god of life. The god of life has the ability to heal the injuries of the gods. Then some former comrades in arms of the human race, those gods can also wake up from their deep sleep. This thing is a loop. Lin Moyu also thinks about those human ancestors in the rotting corpse world, who once saved his life with supreme thoughts. Lin Moyu also wants to revive them if given the chance. As his strength improved, Lin Moyu knew that the chance of resurrection was not impossible, it was just difficult. Unless the real ashes are wiped out, there is always a possibility. Boom. With a violent explosion, the formation guarding the city finally exploded. The dragon's breath carries death, turning the whole city into a sea of annihilation. The undead army rushed into the city and started a ruthless massacre. Experience began to soar again, and the speed was not much slower than Chalet Shuchuan. The news of Lin Moyu's entry into the dragon world has been thoroughly spread. The whole family is boiling, and the killing intent is soaring. Since they came to this world, no human race has ever entered the dragon world. The various defense systems in the dragon city were built thousands of years ago, and that was also because the abyssal demons came in at that time. Human race, what is it? With the strength of the human race, it is impossible to break into the world of the dragon race if it exceeds 1,000. The defense system of the human race is still established by imitating the dragon race and the abyssal demon. In the eyes of the dragon people, the human race is synonymous with being weak and humble, and it is their ration. Now, a human race has entered the dragon world in a grandiose manner. This is simply slapping all the dragon people in the face. The slap from thousands of years ago still hurts, but now the second slap comes up again. How can I bear it? For a moment, all the dragon clan people shouted to kill Lin Moyu, to crush him to ashes. The dragons mobilized collectively, gathered quickly, and rushed towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu can't wait for this, the more he comes, the better. The first city was destroyed, and all the dragons in the city were killed or injured. Lin Moyu saw several dragon eggs. There should have been a breath of life in the dragon eggs, but under the breath of the dragon, they were not spared. I should save some Dragon 02 eggs, take them back and bake them, maybe the roasted dragon eggs won't taste bad. Lin Moyu used the resurrection of the dead skill and swung countless flames. For a time every corner of the city was filled with silvery white flames, because the resurrected ones gained new life from the flames. There are not too many dragons in this city, not more than 20,000 in total. Compared with the undead army, the 20,000 resurrected army is not too many. But there are more than 20,000 cannon fodder, why not do it? The army continued to advance, leaving only the ruined city behind. The team advanced very fast, and it didn't take long to see the second city. Lin Moyu saw from a distance that the sky above the city was filled with darkness, and the dragon army quickly assembled. There are hundreds of warships, one after another. The battleship was also full of dragon soldiers. At a glance, the number of troops exceeds 100,000. Coupled with the defenders in the city, the number may be acceptable to 200,000. They are waiting in full battle, just waiting for their own arrival. It's so fast. Lin Moyu smiled and relaxed, not nervous at all. With 200,000 dragons, the final result is that his resurrected army will expand to 200,000. If you use war to support war and let the dragons kill each other, you will become a nightmare for the dragons. Kill. Lin Moyu read a sentence softly, and the army launched an attack. The ones rushing to the forefront are still the Dragon Clan's Resurrection Legion. The 20,000 Dragon Resurrected Legion rushed to the front of the city like a sharp sword. How could it be our own people? What the hell did Lin Moyu do, and why did it happen? This guy is so hateful, he actually manipulated our people, killed him, must kill him. The Dragon Clan roared wildly. They instantly understood Lin Moyu's intention, which was to kill each other. Lin Moyu didn't use any tricks, just put a knife and a gun on the bright side. Facing the onslaught of his own people, the clan also had no choice but to exterminate. The magic crystal was buzzing and spinning, emitting a brilliant light. Hundreds of dragon warships flashed at the same time, inspiring a strong attack. A large number of resurrected people were killed. The resurrected people had no fear, and they did not know life and death. They braved the fierce attack, rushed to the front of the city, and began to attack the city. Dragon chant resounded in the air, and the skeleton dragon swooped down rapidly, breathing out its breath. The undead army followed closely behind and began to attack. The siege scene like the last city was staged again. The difficulty of the siege has increased slightly this time, but to Lin Moyu, it just takes more time. The space around him suddenly distorted, and 6 dragon kings appeared in front of Lin Moyu at the same time, surrounding him. Waiting for you for a long time. Lin Moyu chuckled, the sky darkened violently, the skeleton throne came down, and the skeleton king stood up dragging his big sword, Lock on Zun Longzu. This time there was not one skeleton king, but 2. One of them used 100,000 skeletons, and the other used 90,000 skeletons. No matter which skeleton king, it has reached level 93. After level 80, the attributes of the skeletons have been greatly improved, and the skeleton king has also improved naturally. Now the restriction is still on Lin Moyu, and it is still because Lin Moyu's soul level restricts them. There are also big world runes. Otherwise, Lin Moyu believes that skeleton king can be stronger. 2 skeleton kings appeared, swinging their swords at the same time, performing a god-slaying blow. Lin Moyu also gave a light drink at the same time, and his whole body burst into brilliant light. Soul skill, gather. The attribute limit sword, brilliantly sublimated, and instantly raised his own strength to level 93. He took out a pair of giant swords and transformed into a warrior. In the skill demonstration, the necromancer is far away from the battlefield, holding a scepter, like a commander, a marshal. Lin Moyu, on the other hand, is more like a general who has personally entered the battlefield, crisscrossing the battlefield. The 6 dragon kings were stunned by the scene in front of them. Lin Moyu seemed to know that he was coming, and had already prepared for it. Skill, Slay God. Lin Moyu almost uses Slasher with Skeletron. The target is these 6 dragon kings. The dragon kings screamed in horror, and their bodies were cut off instantly. There is no need to use Elemental Riot to make up the knife, and the 6 dragon kings are instantly killed. Kill the dragon king, experience plus ***. General star, +1. 6 messages in a row jumped out, and the experience soared a lot. The nearby skeleton ran over and skillfully took the dragon crystal from the dragon king's corpse. Then a group of flames exploded, divided into 6 parts and landed in the bodies of the 6 dragon kings. The dragon king began to regenerate flesh and blood, and the severed limbs began to reconnect. Lin Moyu didn't wait for the result, he took 2 skeleton kings to fight towards the city. There was a fierce battle in the city, and the arrival of Lin Moyu and the 2 skeleton kings completely broke the balance. The power of the god level is difficult to resist by the city formation. Huge elements exploded on the formation, and the formation suddenly shattered. Soul skills, strong 160 soldiers. Lin Moyu used the strong soldier skill, and his soul power was greatly consumed. Even if he is now at level 80 and his soul power has greatly increased, he can only maintain it for 6 seconds under the dual state of gathering strength and strengthening soldiers. But now there are a large number of enemies for him to slaughter, and the consumption of souls can be continuously replenished, so there is no need to consider the issue of skill duration. Lin Moyu turned into a warrior and entered the dragon city, and the real massacre began. Without the protection of the city formation, the dragons became lambs to be slaughtered. The warships in the sky were stared at by the skeleton dragon and the skeleton king, and they fell one after another. Soon, the 6 dragon kings who had just been killed became resurrected and joined the battle group. They have the power of life, god-level power. The battle situation is completely locked, and the fate of the dragon clan in the city is doomed. There are close to 200,000 members of the dragon clan, ranging in level from high to low, with the lowest being only over 40, and the highest reaching over 80. Under the butcher's knife of the undead army, the fate is exactly the same. The experience has soared, and it has risen by 70% in a blink of an eye. As long as one more city is slaughtered, it can be upgraded to level 81. Lin Moyu's eyes are full of killing intent. He is practicing leveling with the dragon clan. In the soul world, the domain god stone keeps rotating, continuously absorbing murderous aura, and the black murderous aura becomes more and more intense. In the hinterland of the dragon clan, the dragon emperor received the news. Bold, how dare you come to seek death? A roar came from the dragon emperor's palace, and then a divine dragon broke through the sky. Lin Moyu killed happily. Under the joint effect of the two soul skills of Joint Force and Strength Soldiers, the combat power of the undead army was pushed to the limit. Even a dragon warrior of level 89 can't bear the siege of a few skeletons. Unless the Dragon King takes action, there is no way to stop the undead army. The battle strength of the giant skeleton dragon is already infinitely close to the god level. Even in the face of the Dragon King, it has fought back and forth a few times. If an ordinary level 90 Dragon King is besieged by more than a dozen skeleton dragons, there is also a risk of falling. What's more, two skeleton kings, with combat power over level 93, are watching in the air. The strength of the undead army has reached the extreme. Two huge auras swept over. High Dragon King. Lin Moyu's heart shuddered slightly. The high-level Dragon King can drive the law, which is completely different from the low-level and medium-level Dragon King. It's just right, let's test your skills around you. Lin Moyu used Infinite Fusion, Aging Curse, Soul Flame, Poisonous Star Burst, and completed the combination of 3 skills in sequence. A cluster of red light appeared above the palm. The high-ranking Dragon King is extremely fast, and the attack with the law has arrived before the person arrives. One of the laws attacked the Skeleton King, and the other directly charged at Lin Moyu. With the soul locked, the attack is 100% hit and the bandits are eliminated. The wings of the undead spread out behind Lin Moyu, and the power of the soul moved slightly, cutting off the soul lock instantly. Lin Moyu appeared 1,000 meters away as if teleported. At this time, the law attack fell on the Skeleton King, and the Skeleton King collapsed on the spot. The power of the law is too strong, no matter what kind of law it is, even if it is only superficial, it cannot be resisted by the Skeleton King. 2 high-ranking Dragon Kings showed their figures in midair. One of them showed a look of surprise. Before it came back to its senses, a red light flashed above its head. Red light instantly surrounded it. The breath of the law of time flashed by. The scales on it are aging at a speed visible to the naked eye, the body is decaying, and the aura is weakening. The lifespan of the Dragon Kings of the Dragon Clan is not short, especially the high-ranking Dragon Kings, who have a lifespan of more than 400 years, which is much longer than that of the human race. But this is one of the reasons why Antares called them blood dragons. A real dragon, even if it is just born, has a lifespan of thousands of years, often thousands of years. After adulthood, it is normal to live tens of thousands of years. Like reaching the realm of Antares, God knows how many years he can live. This is already a level that Lin Moyu cannot understand. The lifespan of the mixed blood dragon clan is not as good as that of the real dragon clan, but it is still much longer than that of the human race. Even so, it still cannot stop the law of time. It seems to have passed tens or hundreds of years in a blink of an eye, and it is directly aging. Lin Moyu doesn't know how many years this high-ranking Dragon King has lived, and how much life is left. My skill this time directly sent it to the end of Shoyuan. This high-level Dragon King became extremely old in an instant, his vitality and blood decayed, his laws collapsed, and he was on the verge of death. The high-ranking Dragon King beside it was so frightened that he turned around and fled without even thinking about it. The high-ranking Dragon King's speed was astonishingly fast, and he was gone in a blink of an eye. How could Lin Moyu let it go? A purple god-killing thunder came first, and fell on it in an instant. Amidst the roar, a large sea of thunder appeared in the air, and it screamed and led the lower floors. Then thunder roared, and another purple god-killing thunder flew out, catching up to it in midair. In the midst of lightning and thunder, it simply couldn't stop Shen Shenliai with half a step of super god-level attack power. With just 2 strokes, he was in shape on the spot. Kill the high-level Dragon King, experience, plus. General Star, +1. Kill the high-level Dragon King, experience, plus. General Star, +1. 2 consecutive messages pop up. A high-ranking Dragon King with incomparably rich experience. A low-level Dragon King who can match 490-level Dragon Kings. Lin Moyu's experience jumped a lot in an instant, and his body glowed with upgrades. Level 81. It was less than a day after I first came to Dragon World, and the upgrade was completed. It is too fast. This kind of upgrade speed has never appeared in the history of the human race. Even Lin Mohan couldn't compare. Not only Lin Moyu, even at the beginning of the era, when the gods and the human race worked together to gather the power of the world to fight against foreign enemies, there would not be such a fast upgrade speed. For Lin Moyu, such a speed of upgrading is not surprising. The higher the level of others, the slower the level. After all, the efficiency of killing monsters is decreasing, and the time to kill each monster is getting longer, so you can only use time to accumulate. In fact, Lin Moyu killed the horizontal push all the way with his undead army. The only problem was that there were not enough monsters. Now in the dragon world, the dragons inside are treated as monsters by Lin Moyu. The god-level dragon king was regarded as a boss, and he was pushed all the way horizontally, and a lot of experience was recorded. Kill the 2 high-level dragon kings, let the skeletons collect the dragon crystals, and at the same time a ball of flames fell on their bodies. Just a few seconds later, 2 resurrected beings who can drive the law joined Lin Moyu's command. The combat power of the Risen Legion has increased significantly again. At this time, the battle was coming to an end, and Lin Moyu also put away his skills, ready to fight the final battle. Boom! There was a roar in the air, followed by a deafening dragon chant. The voices came from all directions and were unpredictable. And mingled with the voice of the soul, Dragon Emperor. Lin Moyu's expression became serious, and the real opponent came. Coming to the world of dragons, the only enemy that Lin Moyu should pay attention to is the Dragon Emperor. As for the others, Lin Moyu didn't care at all. The fact is also the same, even the high-level Dragon King who can drive the law, it is not difficult to kill himself. Only the Dragon Emperor, who is half a step above the super god level, can become his own hindrance. A phantom of a dragon several hundred meters long appeared in the air. The phantom of the dragon saw the city that had been turned into ruins, and the bones piled up in the city. Lin Moyu, you damn it! The dragon roared, and the figure of the Dragon Emperor was revealed from it. Lin Moyu said casually, that depends on whether you can kill me. The Dragon Emperor said coldly, since you have come to the Dragon Realm today, don't think about leaving. Speaking of which, a giant axe appeared in its hand. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly, it was this giant axe that he had to retreat last time. With the giant axe in hand, the Dragon Emperor's aura continued to rise, reaching the peak of the half-step super god level in a blink of an eye, infinitely close to the super god level. The high-level god level is the driving law, and Pingbu Chaos Hen begins to learn the control law. But the law of mastery is just an adjective, and it has no specific meaning. Roughly speaking, it means that one can integrate one's own personal will into the laws, making the laws of heaven and earth his own private property. It's like there is a Jiao Hao knife between heaven and earth. When you are a high-level god, you only have the ability to remotely control this knife. You have a remote control in your hand, and you can kill whoever you want with this knife. As for the power and accuracy, it is out of control. And at the half-step super god level, it is necessary to make this knife in the world into one's own. In this way, you can take it out at any time, and you can kill whoever you want. When you really reach the super god level, you will incorporate the laws into your soul. The law is truly owned by oneself and has become a private property. It is not only flexible to control, but also more powerful. When the law belongs to heaven and earth, you can drive it to exert 1% of its power. And after the super god level control law, at least 10% of the power can be exerted. There is a huge difference between the two. Now with the help of the giant axe, the Dragon Emperor is infinitely close to half-step super god. Lin Moyu knows that in the fragmented world, it is absolutely impossible to become a super god. No matter how strong a half-step super god is, it is only a half-step super god. The Dragon Emperor slashed at Lin Moyu with an axe, and Lin Moyu also pointed out. The two confront each other. With one axe from the Dragon Emperor, the space collapsed. The city that had already been turned into ruins was completely destroyed by the aftermath of this axe. None of the skeletons, headless horsemen, resurgents, and even skeleton dragons in the city survived. This axe contains an astonishingly powerful law, and at the same time, the law contains the will of the Dragon Emperor, which is different from any law that has been seen before. The personal will was too strong, and the power of the law formed a phantom of the dragon in midair, and rushed towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu pointed out at the same time and returned the color. The wings of the undead flapped at the same time, and the power of the soul poured into it, flying 10,000 meters away in an instant. The Dragon Emperor snorted, it lost its target in the soul lock, and the soul lock failed. This is the first time it has encountered this situation. A red light flashed above his head, enjoying the danger. A half-step super god-level existence has a strong sense of danger. It let out a growl. Amidst the roar, the ancestral blood was burning fiercely, and a drop of dragon blood rushed out of the body. The dragon's blood quickly turned into its appearance and turned into a clone, and the Dragon Emperor's body appeared thousands of meters away. Lin Moyu's attack landed on the Dragon Emperor's clone, which rapidly aged and collapsed. The Dragon Emperor's pupils shrank suddenly. What kind of attack is this? With its knowledge, it has not come into contact with such a profound thing as the law of time. But it can feel that it is Law 680, a very terrible law. After a short time, Lin Moyu became stronger again. Such an enemy is too terrifying to stay. A bad feeling grew in the Dragon Emperor's heart. If he couldn't kill Lin Moyu today, he must be the one who died in the future. The Dragon Emperor roared again, the huge axe in his hand gleamed, and his strength rose again. The aura of law permeates, constantly tearing apart the space. A huge black hole appeared beside the Dragon Emperor, a black hole made up of laws. Lin Moyu felt a little pity when he saw that his attack failed to hit. If the law of time can hit, even if it can't kill the Dragon Emperor, it can at least cut off a lot of its lifespan and greatly weaken its strength. Now the Dragon Emperor is obviously on guard against this black hole. What's going on again? Lin Moyu is cautious about things he has never seen. He sensed the threat from the black hole, where laws pervade. This is a world completely composed of laws. At this moment, he finally saw clearly what law the Dragon Emperor was using. The Law of Stone. The Law of Stone has two characteristics, one is to enhance defense, and the other is to enhance strength. In comparison, defense is the main ability of the Law of Stone. The Dragon Emperor has already studied the Law of Stone to an extremely advanced level, only half a step away from the super god level. If it wasn't for the limitation of the fragmented world, the Dragon Emperor might have stepped into the SF level. The same is true for Demon Emperor Lillian. If she is not restricted by the world of fragments, her achievements will not be limited to half-step super god. Especially the Demon Emperor Lillian is smarter than the Dragon Emperor, and her achievements will be even higher in the future. The Dragon King carried the black hole and rushed towards Lin Moyu. Die. The giant axe in his hand swung out again, and brilliant light erupted from the black hole. The Law of Stone and the attack of the giant axe merged together, overwhelming the sky. Within the attack range of several thousand meters, the ground collapsed, the city was shattered, and the space was torn apart. The whole picture is like the end of the world. Lin Moyu's complexion changed, and a sense of danger kept rising in his heart. The undead wings vibrated, broke away from the lock instantly, and flew 10,000 meters away. With a loud bang, the attack landed on the ground. The earth subsides, forming huge potholes. The pothole is more than a kilometer in diameter and hundreds of meters deep. Lin Moyu took a deep breath. This kind of strength is indeed a bit amazing. The outer tower of Goulet appeared in his hand, and the purple Zushanlai flew out in response. Zushanlai landed on the black hole, and was absorbed by the black hole silently, without any waves. The Law of Stone, attack and defense in one. Lin Moyu thought in his heart, he didn't know if what he thought was right. After all, his understanding of the law is still too little. But what the Dragon Emperor has shown now is that the Law of Stone is indeed very strong in terms of defense. Another overwhelming attack came, and Lin Moyu dodged again. A red light appeared in the hand, and the infinite fusion skill was activated. Once again, it was pointed out that the power of the curse came with the breath of the Law of Time. This time, the Dragon Emperor didn't dodge or evade, relying on the law of stones to fight hard. At the same time, he swung several axes towards Lin Moyu, continuously, covering all the 10,000-meter space around Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't want to confront it and drove again. The curse falls on the black hole, carrying the law of time. The black hole decreased by about 1/5 in an instant, but returned to normal in the next second. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly. He saw that the power on the giant axe seemed to be transmitted into the Dragon King's body, which gave the Dragon King the energy to maintain the black hole. That is to say, as long as the giant axe is in hand, as long as the energy on the giant axe is not used up, I don't even think about hurting the Dragon Emperor. The giant axe is a super god-level weapon, and Lin Moyu can't predict how powerful its internal power is. Lin Moyu felt that even if he fought for a few days and nights, he would not want to use up the power in the giant axe. The purple god-killing thunder is invalid, and the law of time is also invalid. Lin Moyu already has a stronger ultimate move. The Dragon Emperor's attacks came wave after wave, and Lin Moyu could only dodge them constantly. It seemed that the Dragon Emperor had the upper hand, and Lin Moyu looked very embarrassed. It's still a bit too much. It seems that we can't confront the Dragon Emperor head-on for the time being. Lin Moyu rolled his eyes. Since he couldn't beat him, he didn't want to beat him. The wings of the undead vibrated rapidly, and the power of the soul poured in crazily. Lin Moyu instantly pulled undead wing speed to the limit. He disappeared without a trace in an instant. In the eyes of the Dragon Emperor, this scene was exactly the same as the last time in the abyss. Lin Moyu also disappeared like this, without missing a trace. It thought Lin Moyu had escaped again, so it screamed madly. Bastard, why did you run away again? Lin Moyu has completely disappeared from its soul lock. He also didn't leave an aura on Lin Moyu like the Demon Emperor, and he couldn't track him even if he wanted to. Lin Moyu flew tens of thousands of kilometers in just 10 seconds, and came to a world of ice and snow. When he stopped, a city appeared in front of him, an undefended dragon city in the sun seat. With murderous intent in his eyes, the wings of the undead trembled, and Lin Moyu swooped down and entered the city. The defense system in each city of the Dragon Clan was built thousands of years ago. At that time, the human race and the Abyss Demon reached a silent cooperation, and the human race was responsible for dealing with the dragon race on the Yuan battlefield. The Abyss Demon directly attacked the Dragon World. At that time, the Dragon Clan was caught off guard, so a large number of formations were built in each city to form a defense system. Even after thousands of years, these defense systems are still strong. But now, the defense is not activated. Lin Moyu's speed was too fast, the wings of the undead fluttered slightly, the power of the soul flowed, and Lin Moyu had already appeared in the city. In the next second, the sky became pitch black, the giant bone dragon roared, and the silver-white undead flame burned the whole city. The undead army raised their butcher knives and started slaughtering in the city. Lin Moyu stood in the center of the city, his eyes sweeping across the city. The scepter of creation was in his hand, devouring dragon crystals one after another. The core of life gradually became complete and began to shine, and the breath of law began to appear in the core of life. The 2 pieces of dragon crystals from the high-level Dragon King are very effective, much better than ordinary dragon crystals. Lin Moyu can understand that the scepter of creation and the core of life originally belonged to the higher gods. It has laws of its own. To fix it, either fill it with a quantity, or give the dealt item. But Lin Moyu still doesn't understand what is the relationship between the core of life and the Dragon Clan. Why would it use dragonglass to fix it? When the god of life fell in the Great War, the Dragon Clan hadn't favored him yet. Antares. Lin Moyu's thoughts were like lightning, and he thought of Antares. Since it has nothing to do with these mixed blood dragons, it must have something to do with Antares. Go back and ask. In just a few minutes, the entire dragon city was slaughtered. It's not that Lin Moyu is bloodthirsty, but he has to. In order to complete the plan, Lin Moyu must become the master of the world, and then let his world swallow the dragon world and the abyss world. In this process, the creatures that originally belonged to the fragmented world must be obliterated. It doesn't have to be all killed, but at least 80% to 90% must be wiped out. Otherwise, these two fragmented worlds will be like maggots attached to the bones, and will not go away. What's more, Lin Moyu regards the dragon people as monsters, as tools to upgrade himself. Kill some monsters and upgrade the level. Lin Moyu has no psychological burden at all. The upper space, the center of the core area. It is also the center of the ancient battlefield. Antares' big eyes slightly showed a slit. It looks at everything Lin Moyu has done in Dragon Clan, with satisfaction in his eyes. Kill as much as you want. When you enter the big world in the future, you will understand how cruel the real world is. Destroying stars and destroying clans, exterminating species and dynasties, killing hundreds of millions of living beings is only at the fingertips. One world, one big star, can be destroyed with a wave of hands for an invincible powerhouse. Only if you become ruthless yourself, can you survive in such a world. Antares' voice was full of nostalgia. It used to come from such a big world, and its hands were covered with blood. Since coming here, the years have become quiet, and the killing intent has gradually quieted down. It's just silence, and it doesn't disappear. Maybe one day, there will be huge waves again. Lin Moyu slaughtered the city too fast. Within 10 minutes, the city was reduced to ruins under the breath of the dragon, and the dragon creatures in the city were completely wiped out. During this period, Lin Moyu not only fed the dragon crystal to the staff of creation, but also summoned the undead army. At level 81, the number of undead legions increases again, reaching a total of 280,000. The number of skeletons of each type exceeds 70,000, and the total number of skeletons reaches 210,000. 2 skeleton kings in the strongest state can be summoned at the same time. The number of dragon lairs has increased from 1,000 to 1,100. Although the increase in combat power is not as huge as the increase from 79 to 80, it is a very important step for Lin Moyu. After level 80, every level up, the most important thing is to increase a lot of soul power. The power of the soul that was consumed before is fully recovered, and the soul becomes full again. Putting away the undead army, the wings of the undead vibrated, and Lin Moyu disappeared without a trace in an instant. A few minutes after Lin Moyu left, the sound of dragon chant came from the sky. A divine dragon flew from far away, traveled thousands of miles like lightning, and came to the sky above the city. Looking at the ruined city, the dragon emperor roared again and again, "Lin Moyu, you coward! If you have the guts, don't run away, come out and fight me. We decide the outcome, life and death. Come out, coward, come out." The dragon emperor roared, almost losing his mind, but got no response. Lin Moyu had already left, and there was no trace of him. Lin Moyu came to Antares. "You haven't slept yet." Antares grinned strangely. "Why are you sleeping? I'm waiting for you to come back." Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback. "You know I'm coming back." Antares raised his head arrogantly. "That is, who is Ben Long? Your actions have been expected by Ben Long. If Ben Long guessed correctly, you will start to demean yourself again." Lin Moyu said, "Don't speak so harshly, but have quality. I'm not cheap, I'm called Suffering, so I can be the best. Go away, put gold on your face. Let's get started. I'm sure Ben Long will sleep and have sweet dreams." Antares snorted angrily, let out a breath, rolled up the strong wind, and blew Lin Moyu's hair messy. Lin Moyu didn't have much waist, sat cross-legged, and began to move the skill star core. The soul is familiar with the way and breaks into the skill space. In the skill space, 21 skill star cores are constantly rotating and shining. They look identical, and it is difficult to tell each other apart. And their positions are not static, but are constantly moving. It's just that there is no law in the operation, and the 21 skill star cores seem to be attracted to each other, running randomly, showing a chaotic state. Collisions are common, but fortunately, the skill star core collision will not cause any damage to their bodies. Rather, it is like a ball with full elasticity, which bounces off after collision, and often bounces very far. The whole operation has no track and is unpredictable. It is precisely because of this that Lin Moyu can't tell who is who. The power of the soul poured in, and Lin Moyu directly captured the skill star core closest to him. An invisible hand caught it. The skill star core that was running was shocked and stopped instantly. Huge soul power wrapped it and dragged it out. There is an invisible force in the skill space that binds it and prevents it from leaving. But the power of restraint is not comparable to Lin Moyu's soul power, and the skill star core leaves the skill space at a steady speed. Easier? Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. This time carrying the skill star core was much easier than the previous 2 times. After thinking about it, Wei Wei understands that it's not that the binding power of the skill space has weakened, but that her own soul power has become stronger. Since reaching level 80, the power of the soul has increased significantly, and the rate of increase surprised Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu also understands that because his soul level is too high, the soul power he increases every time seems to be more than others. There is also the power of divinity in the body, and the increase is far more than others every time. And this increase becomes more obvious in the later stages. Now at level 81, carrying the skill star core is easier than before, and it feels effortless. Lin Moyu felt that he could carry 2 skill star cores this time. With joy, Lin Moyu became a happy porter. Only half a day later, the skill star core was moved out of the skill space and sent to the soul world. In the soul world, the soul skill, Dead Wings, with a fusion rate of 100% has already turned into a star, burning and glowing in the soul world. The rest of the skill star cores are arranged in an orderly manner according to the degree of soul fusion. The closest skill star core to Dead Wings, the higher the degree of soul fusion. The order is Cohesion, Fusion 99%, Strengthening Soldiers, Fusion 50%, Damage Transfer, Fusion 50%, Corpse Explosion, Fusion 20%, Summon Skeleton King, Fusion Degree 30%. They revolve around Dead Wings in an orderly manner, looking like galaxies in the starry sky. Compared with the chaos in the skill space, I don't know how many times better. The arrival of the new skill star core did not affect their operation, but stopped in the distance. Lin Moyu incorporated a lot of soul power into it, and the skill star core began to shine. With several experiences, Lin Moyu is the #1 skilled worker of the human race in terms of transforming soul skills. The soul energy rushed in desperately, extremely crazy. In just a few minutes, all soul energy is completely exhausted. Feeling Lin Moyu's breath, Antares snorted softly. An attack fell. The undead army was wiped out, but only a few skeleton dragons died. Lin Moyu said, "Not enough, work harder." Antares frowned, "Boy, you have changed." "That's right, so give me some strength. Don't be like a soft-footed dragon, roll." Amidst the roar, a more powerful attack than before fell to Yi. Antares felt humiliated. Lin Moyu actually called himself a soft-footed dragon. "Bastard, do you know that soft-footed dragons are curse words in our dragon clan?" Antares roared, and an attack landed, completing a kill. "This dragon will kill you." The roar continued, and the second attack completed the second kill. Lin Moyu wasn't afraid at all. "Destroy it, it's 2 times away." "Bitch." Antares also cursed back, but Lin Moyu didn't care. Don't look at Antares' angry appearance. In fact, this guy's attack is also measured. It used to be a high-level god-level attack, but now it has been upgraded to a half-step super god level. The control is very precise. In the mouth of Antares, Lin Moyu has completely become a slut, the complete kind. No one came to the door to commit suicide, and it was more than once. In order to deal with the big world rune before, it killed Lin Moyu nearly 50 times. It is estimated that dozens of kills will be enough this time. For the last attack, Antares was unceremonious and increased his strength a little. With one blow, Lin Moyu was beaten to a bloody mess, inhuman. Immediately, the talent was activated, the purple light flickered, and the body recovered instantly. The soul also returned to its peak state at the same time. Fully reborn, truly reborn. Even if the obliterated corpse does not exist, it can be resurrected. That's why Antares felt that this talent was too heaven-defying. The full power of the soul is poured into the skill star core again, like a big river rolling away. Antares sighed, others are stingy with the use of soul power, but you are such a waste. Lin Moyu focused on two things, and said while injecting soul power, I'm not wasting this. I'm trying my best. After ordinary skills are transformed into soul skills, it is very difficult to improve the fusion degree. The first time is the best opportunity. As long as you seize this opportunity, you can save trouble later on. Just like your own professional characteristics, as long as your skills are cultivated to the same level as your own profession, you can improve as you level up. The first time is the hardest, but if you do it well the first time, you can save subsequent troubles. The same is true for skill conversion, from ordinary skills to soul skills. The first time soul fusion is the best time to improve the fusion degree. If you miss this time, it will be difficult in the future. Just like the previous skills, the fusion degree has been stuck at the beginning of the conversion and has not been moved. It is very difficult to further improve. Lin Moyu regrets why he didn't discover this method earlier, why he didn't discover the strength of his talent. A few minutes later, the power of the soul dried up again. The skill star core has not been filled, and you can continue. Lin Moyu said, come on. As you wish, bitch. Antares snorted, and sprayed his dragon breath on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu died in the dragon's breath, and Antares controlled the rhythm of the dragon's breath, screaming like a countdown, once, twice, 3 times. Until Lin Moyu died 4 times, the talent was activated again. The dragon's breath from Antares also went out at this time. Lin Moyu exclaimed dissatisfied, are you using me to practice skills? Antares laughed loudly, no way, use waste. Dead dragon. Lin Moyu gritted his teeth, furious. Antares looked like you have the ability to eat me, and he deserved a beating. Lin Moyu continued to inject soul power into the skill star core, and at the same time asked, those geniuses in the big world, how much fusion can they achieve when transforming soul skills? Antares said, are you asking about the human race or other races? Lin Moyu said, the Chi people. Human race, generally around 30 to 40. For geniuses, it can reach 60%, and for some geniuses, the fusion degree can reach 70%. Lin Moyu felt a little strange, is there no 100%? Yes, very few. And not all spells can reach 100%, it's great to have the last one. Lin Moyu nodded, it is really difficult to achieve 100% fusion. It's no wonder that Antares was so shocked when he pushed the fusion of undead wings to 100%, and scolded himself as a pervert. And it may become even more abnormal in the future, and the fusion degree of each of the remaining skills may reach 100%. This seems to have surpassed the level of Tianjiao, and it is not an exaggeration to call it a monster. Lin Moyu asked again, what about races other than humans? Antares replied solemnly, generally, it is around 30 to 40. For geniuses, it can reach 60%, and for some geniuses, the fusion degree can reach 70%. Lin Moyu glared at Antares, what is the difference between this and the human race? There is no difference. Lin Moyu knew that this guy was teasing him, so he shut up immediately. Antares laughed and said, just kidding, you can't be so stingy. Lin Moyu said, I just want to know something about the big world. Antares said solemnly, if you go to the big world in the future, you must hide your talent well, this is very important. Antares said that some races have secret methods that can steal other people's talents. There are also weird existences like the soul race, which can occupy the magpie's nest. The thing of seizing homes is often done by the soul clan. Lin Moyu nodded, I will. You don't need to ask about anything else, you'll know everything when you get to the big world in the future. But there is one thing, you can think about it now. Antares had put away his smile at this time, and was talking to Lin Moyu very seriously. The breath fluctuated, and the power of the soul was exhausted again. The skill star core has not been fed yet. I'll ask you later if I have something to say, let this dragon kill you a few more times. Antares breathed out the dragon's breath excitedly. Lin Moyu was surrounded by dragon's breath and died over and over again. Antares seemed to be addicted to killing, and he screamed while breathing the dragon's breath. Lin Moyu sighed helplessly, "This guy is really a bit abnormal." "This is really suffocating," Lin Moyu blurted out. "Do you want to find a female dragon? Get out. I'll kill you." Antares yelled and burned Lin Moyu to ashes. With a flash of purple light, Lin Moyu was reborn again and continued to inject soul power. At the same time, he sighed helplessly, "Okay, what should I think about now?" Antares seemed to have a nervous breakdown, and he returned to his serious appearance. "Your goal is to become the world master of this small world. At the same time, let this small world swallow up 2 fragmented worlds. If you want to accomplish these 0.9 things, you must become a super god level. At the same time, this world is only a small world after all, and the limit it can accommodate is the super god level. When you reach the point where you have nowhere to go, you have to make 2 choices. The first is that you take the whole world out, expose the whole world to the big world, and accept the baptism of the laws of the big world. The second is that you go out by yourself, and the world remains the same." Lin Moyu thought about Antares' words. "What's the difference between the 2 options?" Antares said in a deep voice, "The difference is very big." Suddenly Lin Moyu's body trembled, and the skill star core was finally full. It began to spin rapidly, glowing and heating. Lin Moyu knew that another soul skill with 100% integration was about to be born. Lin Moyu also exuded a strange aura. Abnormal. Antares couldn't help but curse. The skill star core is getting brighter and hotter. Flames were born in the rapid rotation. Lin Moyu no longer had the heart to talk to Antares, staring at the skill star core. The second star is about to be born. Antares also entered into the soul of Lin Moyu, enjoying the prosperity with Lin Moyu. The soul fusion is 100%, and ordinary skills are transformed into soul skills. The soul skills you speak of are also called spells in the big world. With a 100% degree of fusion, the skill star core turns into a star, which is also called a star-level spell. Those spells that haven't yet formed stars are called planetary spells. Spells can carry laws, and the magnitudes of laws that can be carried by different levels of magic are also different. The laws that can be carried by star-level spells are several times, even dozens of times, or hundreds of times that of planetary-level spells. "That's great, what a beautiful star." It is said that when a star is born, it is accompanied by very wonderful things. It's rare to see a strong man a few times in his life. Cherish it. Antares murmured, as if he was speaking to Lin Moyu, but also as if he was speaking to himself. Lin Moyu firmly remembered Antares' words. At this time, his attention has been completely attracted by the star that is about to be born, and he did not answer and 02 taris. Boom! The skill star core reached the limit and exploded. It turned into a mass of flames and lifted off in the soul world. The blasted light swept across the entire soul world, and some subtle changes seemed to have taken place in the soul world. This is... When the star exploded, Lin Moyu suddenly saw something wonderful. This is something he has never seen before. In the center of the extremely brilliant explosion, there is actually a small black spot. The little black dots seem to be connected somewhere. Lin Moyu's attention was originally focused on the stars, especially after listening to Antares' intentional or unintentional words, he became more energetic. Looking at it now, I saw something different. The dark dot is like a bottomless cave, full of mystery, which attracts me deeply. But the small black dot appeared abruptly and disappeared even faster. It lasted less than half a second before disappearing. Almost in a flash. When Lin Moyu came back to his senses, the skill star core had turned into a star, hanging high in the soul space, releasing hot light. Compared with the stars formed by dead wings, this new star looks a bit lonely, a lonely one, there. But it does not hinder its nobility, and it is fundamentally different from those planet-level soul skills. Lin Moyu immediately felt that his soul space seemed to expand a bit, and his soul level also increased accordingly. On the road from level 93 to level 94, Another small step has been taken. As long as he takes a few more steps in this way, he can reach level 94. Once the soul level is high, the combat power can be greatly improved, and it is an all-round improvement, without any shortcomings. Did you see anything just now? Antares' voice sounded. Lin Moyu replied, I saw a black dot, which seemed mysterious, but it disappeared too quickly, and I couldn't see it clearly. Antares chuckled, remember that black spot. What is that? Is it important? Lin Moyu instinctively felt that the little black dot was mysterious, as if it had a strong attraction to him, but he didn't know what was inside. It's very important to everyone, but you just need to remember it now, and you are not qualified to touch it now. Antares was very serious and obviously didn't want to talk about the lower class. Lin Moyu naturally understood what it said, and didn't ask any more questions. Then it was time to reap, and finally transformed an ordinary skill into a soul skill, and it was also a perfect star-level spell. With excitement, check this skill. Skeleton Fangs, Fusion 100%. Release the Skeleton Fangs to attack. The number and power are determined by the amount of mental power consumed. That's it? Looking at the skill explanation, Lin Moyu was a little dazed, with a strange expression on his face. Antares also noticed Lin Moyu's expression. What's wrong? Lin Moyu said, my skill is a bit weird. What's wrong? Don't hesitate to speak, can you be more straightforward? Antares looked at Lin Moyu with disgust. Lin Moyu didn't know how to explain it, let me demonstrate it to you. Spell, Bone Fangs, point to the sky and activate the skill. A ball of white light lit up at the fingertips, and then the white light exploded, turning into tens of thousands of sharp white bones and breaking through the sky. The speed of the fangs is like lightning, and it spans a distance of tens of thousands of meters in an instant, as if teleporting. If it weren't for Antares' good eyesight, he would hardly be able to see clearly. It wasn't until the fangs completely disappeared that there was a roar in the air. Lin Moyu himself has more than 2.6 million spiritual power, plus the addition of the Monarch Scepter, the spiritual power has exceeded 3 million. When demonstrating the skill just now, Lin Moyu directly used 1/3 of his mental power, which is 1 million mental power. Using millions of mental power to cast a skill, even the strongest forbidden spell in the mage department, does not require such a high mental power. Mental power can be regarded as the external manifestation of soul strength, and manipulating a large amount of mental power also requires a very strong soul. Manipulating 1 million spiritual power is not difficult for Lin Moyu. The moment the mental power is consumed, it is fully replenished, as if it has never been consumed. The full connection talent is working silently. Antares watched Lin Moyu's skill demonstration and felt something was wrong. Before it could speak, Lin Moyu released his skills for the second time. This time, Lin Moyu has lightning on his fingertips. Lin Moyu used the law of thunder and lightning, which is currently the only law that Lin Moyu can drive. With the same 1 million mental power, the fingertips lighted up with a white light cluster, which rose into the sky with the lightning, and then exploded in the air, illuminating the area for more than 10 miles like daytime. It was as if a small white sun appeared in the sky, and the white light lasted for a few seconds before disappearing. Failed. Antares was stunned. Failed? Lin Moyu nodded, the law cannot be carried. 690, impossible. Antares felt unbelievable in shock. A perfect star-level spell, unable to carry laws, has never seen such a thing in its long life. Lin Moyu smiled wryly, I probably know what's going on. When the stars were shining on the soul just now, Lin Moyu felt something was wrong. Now it is 100% sure that it is the big world rune that is playing tricks. Antares had doubts, is it the great world rune? Lin Moyu nodded with difficulty, it should be, I felt something was wrong just now. Facing the actions of the great world rune, even Antares felt a little helpless. The last time I failed to prevent Lin Moyu from awakening the skill, this time the great world rune changed the method. It is obviously a perfect star-level technique, but it does not allow it to carry skills. It is not as good as low-fusion planetary-level spells. Not to mention how depressed it was. Antares wanted to comfort Lin Moyu, but he didn't know where to start. Lin Moyu shook off his wry smile, with determination in his eyes. Fortune and misfortune depend on each other, so who can say for sure what the outcome will be? The big world rune is not omnipotent, there is always a way to deal with it. And my skills, even without laws, are not bad. While speaking, Lin Moyu kept firing bone fangs towards the sky, looking like he was venting his depression. Antares looked at Lin Moyu, his eyes changed slightly. Go on, don't stop.